ESPN's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series comes to you tonight from Lowe's Motor Speedway Charlotte, celebrating its 50th year of racing. This track has held more Nationwide Series events than any other venue, and the list of past winners reads like a who's who of the sport, past and present. Tonight, a star-filled field goes 300 miles to see who joins the likes of Allison, Earnhardt, Ard, Gant, and Waltrip as a Charlotte victor. Time for us to go trackside for tonight's opening ceremony.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Air Force ROTC Detachment 592 from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte presents our nation's colors. Remain standing as Joe Andreessen offers tonight's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you that in your divine providence, you made it possible for us to be here tonight. And we ask you, Lord, to watch over our servicemen and women here and abroad. And God, that you would protect them as they protect the freedom that we enjoy. And now, Father God, we lift up to you these asphalt warriors, these high-octane gladiators who are going to risk themselves for the thrill of the race. We pray that you would increase their talents and abilities, that you would heighten their senses and awareness. God, that you would protect them and give them a race that we will never forget. God, that we can have a three-wide, door-banging drag race to the checkered flag tonight. Yes. Father, we believe that nothing but good things are going to come to pass as soon as these men hit the gas. So, Father, we pray by faith, with joy and thanksgiving in our heart, and in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and together, all of God's creation says, amen and amen.
Now here to perform our national anthem, welcome country music performer Trace Atkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it for Trace Atkins for his performance of our national anthem.
Very nice. So 14 double-duty drivers, a championship, those looking to make their name against the big stars, and those looking to secure their place for next season. Just a few of the elements in the mix for this 300 miles. While the drivers buckle in, let's get some reports from pit road. We start with Jamie Little. Jamie?
Well, it's been 11 races since Kyle Busch has been to the Nationwide Series victory lane. He wants it bad, and what a place to do it. He's stellar here. He's won 4 times. Last night, he said his car was so fast and so good, he got out of the car 40 minutes early. Dave?
The 60 team of Carl Edwards, you heard him matter-of-factly say, we now know anything can happen. If you talk to the 60 team, they're like, bring it on. We're fast and getting faster. We can catch Kyle, especially if he keeps coming back to us. Vince?
Brad Keselowski is 227 points out of the championship lead, and he is definitely a long shot for the championship. But there is no question this team is performing at a championship level. 8 straight top 5 finishes for Keselowski. They've outrun Kyle Busch in 6 of the last 10 races. Knowing the title is likely out of reach, crew chief Tony Eury Sr. says this team's championship will come in the form of race wins. If Keselowski's to win tonight, he'll have to come from deep. He starts 29th. Shannon?
Well, Vince, there are several drivers in the field tonight who don't care about points at all. All they're going for is a win. Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, and of course, 2-time Cup champion Tony Stewart. Stewart started the Nationwide Series season with a win at Daytona in a Hendrick Motorsports car. Tonight, he makes his first and only start in the number 5 Junior Motorsports car. The team said today that they definitely feel like they have a top 5 car, and when you're in the top 5, you can get a win. Alan?
All right, Shannon, thanks. Those just some of the stories we follow as we find out the answer to the biggest question of the day. Who's going to win? The engines fire and the green flag waves in Charlotte. Next.
Cars homecoming under the lights. Feel the pressure mount on the Cup heavyweights as the reigning champ takes the chase lead. The NASCAR Banking 500, tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ABC.
A fall Friday night for the NASCAR Nationwide Series to run 300 miles at Lowe's Motors Speedway, Charlotte. We are counting down to the command to fire engines and get the green flag out, and this field of 43 underway. A little bit of a chilly night tonight. Temperature's supposed to sink down to the low 50s by race's end. Now, you know, the last couple of these nationwide races at this track have been plagued by weather. There's only supposed to be a 15% chance of a shower tonight. I just want to put the radar up as a disclaimer.
I should be a weatherman.
Yeah, I know it. It looks like it's moving north of us, but I don't know. I just don't know.
I'll tell you what.
We'll keep an eye on that as we unfold. All right, so you're buckled in, Rusty, and you're all ready to go. A quick thought. What's up?
The first thing I'm thinking about is getting down into turn 1. It's cold out there right now. There's going to be low grip with these tires. These tires are going to be cold, and I'm a little bit worried about it. I really am. I got to get through turn 1 as a driver and get off of that tough turn 4. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
So drivers buckled up, getting ready to go. The crews are getting up on the box and getting ready to do their thing.
For me, the names like Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart, Brian Vickers, you know, we've got some real heavyweights in this race. It's going to be interesting to watch Kyle and Matt Kenseth try to stay up front and come to the front. Got some big-time guys in tonight.
On the front row, Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth, Justin Allgaier and David Gilliland in row number 2, and crafty Kyle Busch starts in 5th position. Time to get some heat in this place by firing up those racing engines. Let's go trackside for the command.
Now, race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command of fire engines, please welcome Co-Grand Marshals Kathleen Guillen, Susan Lanigan, and Sarah Fisher.
Drivers, start your engine!
Crank it up. Hell yeah. Top to bottom. Digging, baby. Good. We'll get him, buddy. Savage, you get that package? I didn't even look how far we away from the...
Almost set to go to start tonight's NASCAR Nationwide Series race. Remember earlier I mentioned the list of past winners here, kind of a who's who of the sport. Well, one of those who's is waiting up in the booth to call the race. 2-time winner here at Charlotte in the Nationwide Series, Dale Jarrett, along with Andy Petrie and Marty Reed. Gentlemen, take it away. Smile, DJ. I'm talking about you. I'm bragging on you, man.
Thank you, sir. And in fact, he holds a record that can never be broken. That second time he won in 1990, you led 1 lap. That's it. The one that counted.
That's the only one I was looking for.
Hey, let's talk about what Jeff Burton said during qualifying. In case you weren't with us, he said, if you come down to run the Nationwide race, it's more important here for him than at Daytona. And somebody at home is going, what? Why is that?
This is a big, big race for all these drivers. We've got 5 chase drivers, 14 double-duty drivers that are running this race. And the reason, it's a big race. I mean, it really is. Even before this was a series, the Nationwide Series, this was a race, a late model sportsman race that everybody looked forward to. And there's a lot of tradition that goes with this. And everybody wants to win this race. They want to hang this trophy on their mantle.
Yeah, you might not have been born in this area, or you might not have grown up in this area, but you probably live somewhere around here now if you're a race driver and you're in this race
tonight. It is a big race. These drivers, these veteran drivers, they know what it's like to race here and to win here. A lot of them know that. The ones that don't have that much experience and are trying to prove themselves to move to that next level, they know this is a driver's track. Their owners are out there watching. The guys that can perform here can get it done on Sundays too. It'll give them a good shot in the arm if they want to get one of those rides.
And we talked about the fact about a couple of races ago that if Kyle Busch has 2 hiccups, he's already had one, we have ourselves a point championship.
Yeah, you know, he lost a lot of his lead last week, and I don't foresee Kyle Busch making a mistake. He could do that, but I don't think that may happen. But a flat tire, anything like that relegates him to a finish outside the top 25, that lets Carl cut into that lead even more.
Yeah, they've been able to race just like they want to. They don't have to worry about, or haven't had to worry about points because they've had such a big lead. They could just roll the dice for wins, just race like it was really no big deal. But now that this thing has shrunk down to 155 points, they've got to start thinking about it. They can't just throw that out of their minds. They have to start thinking about points. I don't say they race conservative, but at least they do have to think about it.
Well, we've got a gaggle of onboard cameras for you scattered throughout this 43-car field. There they are with David Gilliland, Tony Stewart, Justin Allgaier, Ken Butler, Jason Keller, Brad Keselowski, Stephen Wallace, and Carl Edwards, who will be our in-race reporter. And when we come back, that's what we'll do. We'll talk to our pole sitter, find out what the plan is for tonight's 200 laps here at Lowe's. Pace laps continue here at Lowe's, and the 31st stop on the 2009 Nationwide Tour. And there is Carl Edwards. 17th time in his career he has sat on the pole. He's our in-race reporter tonight. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Carl, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
I got you, Dale.
Hey, Carl, let's get right to the mailbag. Casey from Kings Mountain, North Carolina, asked, how is the track in May different than the track in October here at Lowe's Motor Speedway?
That's a good question. It's been so long since we've been here, I can't really remember what it was like. But the good thing is we got a fast race car, and right now the temperatures are low. This track is so smooth, and the pavement's new enough that it really just doesn't change a lot. It's always really fast.
Hey, Carl, my question to you is, has the competition, and in particular the 18 and 20, made you look at and change your setups to try to get some more speed out of your Ford?
It's a good question. All the guys in the shop have been working really hard. You know, those Gibbs cars, I mean, they're just unbelievable. They've been doing a great job, and it's made us raise our game, and our guys have. The last few weeks we've been fast, and, that's what competition brings out, is the best in everybody.
All right, Carl. Have a good night. Thanks for talking with us, and now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Dan Stillman.
10-4, thanks.
Hey, Dan Stillman, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
10-4, Andy, got you.
Hey, Dan, we see sometimes late in the race it comes down to a decision to take 2 or 4 tires or something like that to get the win. What do you use as your criteria to make that late race decision to pull the trigger on 2 tires?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that decision. You know, you got to look how many laps are on your tires, how many laps you have left, how much fuel you need, all that stuff, what the other guys are going to do. So you got to take all that into consideration. I don't think you can really make a plan before the race starts.
Okay, Dan, well, we appreciate it. Hope it works out for you, and good luck tonight.
And as the pace laps continue, let's show you our over-the-wall reporter, because he did such a good job for us last week. John Reese, if you weren't with us, you missed it. He's the jack man on the 27 of Jason Keller. He's also the car chief. And to say he was spirited?
He's going to bring it tonight.
There we go. All right, good luck, guys. Okay, let's get to our quick set smart keys of the race, because these are important.
Now, pit stops and track position are always so critical, and the competition on the track is so close that a lot of times these winning passes are made on pit road, and you really need to get that clean air, and that's why those pit stops are so important. The track is so fast.
Yeah, I love how we put our third one there, survived the double file restarts. We haven't done this here at Charlotte. We're going to see our first opportunity. I think it could be pretty exciting. Rusty talked about that in the countdown show. Turn 1 could get very tight down there. We'll have to see how these guys negotiate that, and are they going to choose that inside or outside lane. Carl Edwards taking the inside on the start of this race.
And we've got just enough time to show you the race analysis, because we'll be going 200 laps tonight for 300 miles. Don't speed. Over 45, you get busted. The pit window, 55 to 60 laps, and fuel could be an issue. And of course, the banking here in the corners, 24 degrees. The top 5 in the starting grid were faster than, well, Edwards' pole winning time in May back here. So we've got a fast field, and pace cars pulled off. The 31st stop on the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Tour is green.
Kenseth able to stay right on Carl Edwards, right rear corner. Gets this big run down the backstretch.
Everybody survived turn 2. Can we survive turn 4?
Yeah, I think there's some guys paying attention for whenever we have that first restart here, that outside lane might be the way to go.
Coming to the stripe. Who's going to lead? It'll be Matt Kenseth. Carl Edwards second. Justin Allgaier third. Kyle Busch fourth. David Gilliland fifth. Whoa, running up on the high side there. And they're 3 wide further back. That was Kyle getting up close to the wall. And he's got his hands full with the 1 car right now, David Gilliland.
Just looking for some room to race.
Now, the biggest problem these guys have right now, they have a cool racetrack that has a lot of grip, but they have low air pressure, and that makes these cars difficult to drive.
That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17. He's looking to go on the high side on the 1. But now he's got problems with Eric Darnell in the 6, and here comes the low side with Brian Vickers.
Yeah, Brian getting a good run off the bottom of the racetrack.
If you haven't been with any of our coverage, 3 of the Braun Racing machines in pink to honor Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
See right there, Brian Vickers, just as Rusty talked about, got loose down on that bottom part, really had to slide up the racetrack and avoid Eric Darnell, who got a great run.
And then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had to get out of the throttle off of turn 4.
And here comes Joey Logano. Logano did not qualify as well as he wanted to, but he's got the low line.
Yeah, Rudeman got into the back of Mike Bliss. Now you got him 3 wide on the backstretch. Here comes Casey Kane in that 43 car.
And with these cars here tonight, it's about momentum. You'll hear us talk about that all night because of these tapered spacers. They have to keep things going. That's why the bottom might not always work for these guys.
That's Casey underneath Dave Blaney there, and they are side by side as they come across the stripe. You're not missing anything up front. Kenseth has a half-second lead over Carl Edwards. Look at the 33, Ryan Newman. Boy, he struggled in practice, struggled in qualifying, but he's trying to move forward. He's up to 13th.
A lot of fast cars in this group. You see there, the 87 and 43 are teammates. They're out of the Braun shops. See David Rudeman now working his way under Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Johnny Chapman is off, and the 92 of Dennis Setzer is also off. Dave, you got more?
Yeah, there's a reason Ricky Stenhouse is in this race as he continues to battle on the inside. He loses that spot to Rudeman, tries to sneak back in. It's about experience. And this car was, at the beginning of the year, they might not have entered it, but they want Ricky Stenhouse to keep moving up the NASCAR ladder. You have to get approved with one type of track before you move to the next. He is on the 1.5 mile program. He has to keep moving up the ladder, and experience like he's getting right now is important for NASCAR to see.
Oh, you see
contact on the wall.
Blaney, he got in the wall right there, coming off of 4, that tricky turn 4.
It won't be the last time we see that happen. A third starting park car, the 47 of Miller, is also off, so Chase is the third one off. Let's go back and show you what happened with the 87.
See, as you come off behind someone, too, you lose all the air to your front end, and you've got the wheel turn, but you just run out of room as that track really flattens out coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he almost did it again right there. You see Ryan Newman now making the pass on Stenhouse.
Well, he thought he made it a little wider that last time, so he had a little more room.
So Newman has moved up to 11th.
And look who's sneaking in the picture right here in this 5 car, Tony Stewart.
Well, we didn't think he'd be back there all night.
Oh, no. Right behind him, Mike Bliss. Look at this 3 wide.
You can see how they really used the draft here and can get that momentum going, and that's going to propel him by both of these cars.
Well, this got to be frustrating. This got to be frustrating for Dave Blaney. He's been trying to pass Stenhouse, got in the wall, and now he's lost like 3 spots and still is hunt behind Stenhouse.
Yeah, and he was in the position to make that pass maybe down to turn 3, and all of a sudden here comes Tony Stewart taking the inside. He's in the middle and has to get out of the throttle.
Here comes Jeff Burton.
Burton has moved up to the 16th position. He has picked up 9, and so he is moving towards the front after a dismal qualifying effort. There is what the difference is to our race leader, and it is Matt Kenseth by a second over Carl Edwards. Kyle Busch another half-second behind. Back here on lap 14 at the Lowe's, we have our first caution. That is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The window net is down, and a 3-car deal coming out of 4 involving that car right there, Reed Sorensen. Let's take you back because Reed got loose coming out of 4, and that's where it all started.
Yeah, things kind of stack up. You see he makes the pass right here, but he gets really loose. Stenhouse gets up under him, has to get out of the throttle, and then Jason Keller gets into the back of the 17 car. Hard hit.
Right there, yes. Very hard hit for Stenhouse against that outside wall. So good to see that safer barrier on this entire length of the front straightaway.
Let's go on board. Jason Keller's view.
You can hear him get out of the throttle, but just not soon enough. Things happen. Just kind of that accordion effect that we have.
From high above.
You see just that stacks up right there. Really nothing Jason Keller could do either. I mean, he reacted as quick as he possibly could. Still a hard lick for Stenhouse.
It does not take long. Best news is we can tell you that Ricky Stenhouse is okay.
Yeah,
now, we're coming down pit road because they're trying to get all the cleanup here on the front straightaway. Pit road is closed, so no one will be able to do any changes to their car. Can give you an update also. We now have 4 cars that have started and parked. Mark Green, Chapman, Setzer, Miller, those are the 4.
See, they just want to give this safety crew a lot of room to work, not have to worry about all the cars coming by. See right there, just knocked the front and rear off of the 17 car.
And our Aaron's lucky dog will be Matt Carter when we go back. He was the only car 1 lap down in 39th position here at the Dollar General 300.
Yeah, he'd come in under the green flag. Looked like they changed the right side tires, like he might have had a flat tire. That's how he got behind.
62 is in. Brendan gone. Now, this is a brand new Kevin Harvick chassis. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, we said the pits are closed, and they are, but these cars are making these pit stops anyway. The penalty is they'll have to start at the rear of the longest line on the restart. So you have to reset the roof flaps.
And Reed, of course, involved in this 3-car deal. They can take their time because the pace car is just coming around 4, and pit road is still closed, and they are still working on the cleanup. Looks like, are they going to come down pit road again? Yes, so they'll do the same routine, and hopefully we'll be getting back to green flag racing here shortly. At the time of the crash, Sorensen was 17th. Stenhouse was 18th, right behind him. Stenhouse had been falling back. He had a car that was just not handling all that well, but that certainly wasn't his fault. Matt Kenseth had opened up a 2.5-second lead at the time of the caution. Kyle Busch is now 2nd, Carl Edwards 3rd, David Gilliland 4th, and Joey Logano has moved up to 5th.
I don't think that's any surprise that Kyle Busch and Joey Logano and those Gibbs racing cars have found their way into the top 5.
Well, you can just see how twisted the frame and chassis of this car is. Both ends getting hard licks.
I think you can basically write that baby off.
Yep, that one is junk.
Turn that one into your insurance claim. See?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nationwide may be on our side, but I don't think on that one. All right, we're going to take a quick break here because obviously this cleanup's going to take a little bit of more time and give us a chance to catch our breaths. What was really exciting until we saw this. Hopefully it would be the last of the night, but I have a feeling it won't be. Well, you see what's left of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car as we made it about 13 laps. He has been released from the care center, and that's the best news of all. The bad news for the crew back at the shop is junk that one and build a new one. Jamie, let's check in pit road. What's going on?
Well, he just walked out of the medical center. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. It's a bad deal. Car wasn't that great. The Save-A-Lot Ford Fusion just was really tight. We were just kind of riding around, biding our time. The 10 car got by us there and looked like he got loose, maybe got up into the wall, and I checked up, and the 27 got us from behind. Just nowhere for him to go and nowhere for me to go either, and we just got caught up in it.
Glad to see you're all right. That car definitely smashed up. Next week he will be practicing qualifying for Matt Kenseth, guys, but that is it for the rest of the year.
All right, thanks for the update, and glad that Ricky is A-OK. Word is pit road will be open, but and take a look now as boy, that is Stephen Wallace, and they had the hood up, making some big changes.
All right, good job, everyone.
So again, pit road's still officially closed, so they'll go back to the back of the field.
They could have possibly been dragging a lot, and having to fix that, they would have had to do something with the jack screws in the front.
Yeah, that's the only way to get the car up off the racetrack is to run those front jack screws down, and the only way you can do that is to raise the hood. And now we see some cars coming down pit road. You see the 6th car, and here comes Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton.
Jeff Burton from about 9th place on back is going into pit road. So obviously some people taking advantage since they're not running up front as is right now. There's our crew cam with John Reese.
Yeah, they're assessing the damage that they sustained in that little accident. Actually, a big accident for Stenhouse.
Again, right there in front of you, Brian. Fair bound around it.
See them working on the back of that hood there where it's boated up some. You want to get that down. You want the air to be able to get into that cowl right there. The engine's not going to run at its peak performance if you don't.
Trying to keep that hood from coming up there. So
yeah, normally that's not legal right there, but they can do it because they have been in an accident, and there's reason for them to do that.
This is the damage you see on Dave Blaney's car from that contact with the wall first few laps of the race.
So we're being told by NASCAR officials we'll have 2 to go when they hit the line. So we'll step aside one more time before we go back to green flag racing here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Well, we'll be going back to green flag racing when we get back to the line this next time around. They're on the backstretch right now. It'll be Matt Kenseth. It looks like he's taken the outside. Kyle Busch along the inside of row 1. Then it's Carl Edwards, David Gilliland, Joey Logano, and Justin Allgaier. That is your top 6.
Matt saw that outside worked for him on the initial start of the race. Carl Edwards had the inside, so we'll see how he fares racing Kyle Busch here on this restart.
Big opportunity for Justin Allgaier. You see him there in that 6th starting position. Remember, he is in that very tight battle for the 5th and final podium spot at the end of the season banquet. You're asking where's Stephen Wallace? Well, he's right now listed back in 22nd position. Coming down for the green flag. Boy, a great start for the 16, and we're racing again here in Charlotte.
Man, look at Kyle Busch. Just blast by on the inside.
Kyle takes the lead going down the backstretch now, heading into 3. Everybody survives turn 2 again on the restart. That was one of our quick set keys to the race. And right now, Kyle going to try and do the same number on Kenseth that he did on the first start. A little further back, there's Casey Kane coming alongside and outside the 20 of Joey Logano.
Yeah, I think if you're going to make a choice to beat Kyle Busch on a restart, it might have to be 5 car lengths out front instead of just inside or outside.
I'll tell you what, when those Gibbs cars get going on a restart, they get going. I mean, they've got some steam under the hood.
Michael Annett, you saw him for a moment taking a peek under. Here is Joey Logano looking to get under the 43 of Casey Kane. Right in front of them is the 60 of Carl Edwards. Edwards running in 5th. Logano side by side, and there's cars right behind him. That's Vickers and Ryan Newman. Newman in the 33 on the low side. Wide. That's Michael Annett in the middle, Tony Stewart and Eric Darnell in the 6. Darnell picks up the spot for now. Tony says, hey, nudge over a little, I'm coming through.
Yeah, he kind of boxed him in behind a little slower car there, so he's able to take that spot away.
Not his first time to the rodeo.
Yeah, that's Danny O'Quinn. They're passing 3 wide now.
Dave, you got an update?
Eric Darnell had a tight race car, wanted to pit for 2 tires. Tony Stewart had a more interesting situation. Tight race car, they made a wedge and air pressure adjustment, changed 4 tires for Tony in the 5. But after they got the tires off, there was a groove all the way around the circumference of the right front tire on the tread. It wasn't a cut,
something is rubbing that tire, and they didn't run but just a few laps under green. That's got me really worried what that is, and it'll do it again. If it's rubbing, it'll do it again, and that thing could cut that right front tire down.
Well, let's find out more from our Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim?
Thanks, Marty. Andy's exactly right, because you see this area right here, that is a piece of 1/8-inch material that's 1-inch thick, and it runs all the way down this area right here. And the teams have to deburr it beneath it right here, because that's where you weld the sheet metal to. But if that tire's rubbing this area right here, it's not going to last a long time, Andy.
Man, that's the worst one you could be rubbing to, that right front.
There's Brian Vickers in the 32 trying to go underneath Joey Logano. That is for position, as it is 7th on the racetrack as you're on board with Carl Edwards looking back. And here comes Logano right back on him. Here comes Newman to get in the mix as well. Shannon, you've got more?
Well, Ryan Newman started this race 15th, but the team was not concerned. They said, listen, when we qualify between 15th and 17th, we usually run very well. Now, they were struggling with their car in qualifying. It was a little bit too loose. Most recently, Ryan said on the radio, still free on entry, so something they're still battling right now.
Yeah, Mike Bliss just got right by him there, so Bliss picks up the spot, moves up to 9th, bumped Newman back to 10th. While all that's going on, guess what? Kyle's pulled out a 1.3-second lead over to Matt Kenseth. Gilliland right behind. Then it's Allgaier, Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano. And there is David Gilliland running in 3rd. And remember, this guy didn't practice this car at all. He comes in, does a great job in qualifying today. Vince, what are they saying?
Yeah, in fact, Marty, they actually laughed about that a little bit, said maybe we ought to try this technique and strategy every week. Don't practice it, just get in it and race it. He qualified at 4th, had a great qualifying effort. Says the car is just a tick tight, but he really likes the way it feels. You know, this is the 3rd straight race that Gilliland has run this one car, finished 8th last week in California. They've got a real good rhythm here early in the race. They're running some pretty solid laps here and very happy with the way the car's handling.
All right, thanks for the update. Let's also update you. Andy Ponstein is off the track after 27 laps. Here comes Casey Kane over Justin Allgaier. So move Kane to 4th, bump Allgaier back to 5th.
Yeah, this 43 car is very, very fast. I've watched him quite a few laps here, and he's starting to move his way up. He's one of the faster cars on the racetrack.
And if you miss qualifying, you talk about sometimes you need a little luck. Had we had qualifying rained out, this 43 car would not have been in the show.
Right. Also, when they did go out to qualify, they had their plug wires crossed and had to come back in and fix that before they could go out. They were under the 5-minute clock. They got it fixed and got back out there and obviously made a qualifying run to be in this field.
So Casey right now running in the 4th position, 4.4 seconds behind our race leader, Kyle Busch. And every lap that Kyle leads continues his season record-setting pace. We'll talk a little bit about that and a lot more when we come back to Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. All of the cars in this race tonight, including that of leader Kyle Busch, running on Goodyear tires, and some of these leaders hoping they're getting better mileage because they did not pit under the only caution we've had so far. Kyle Busch and 13 others on the track. And as we've now run past 50 miles, Rusty, and check back here on a race between Carl Edwards and Justin Allgaier for 8th position, these guys are going to be counting laps to another caution.
Oh, yeah, a lot of them are wanting a caution, too, to start working on their car to try to get it handling better. That first caution that happened around lap 13 to 15 area when they pitted, they were able to tune their cars up a little bit and get them better. But one thing I'm noticing is that this track position is more important here than ever, and they're going to have to continue keeping up with this changing track conditions also and keep the track position like I just mentioned. You got to have that clean air to the front. It's very important to make these cars handle, and that's what I see when I see Kyle Busch out front just checking out that clean air. He loves it.
Boy, I tell you, he is up on the wheel like he has something to prove. He is checked out by almost 4 seconds, and just until recently he was running the quickest laps of anyone in the entire field. There's a couple of guys that caught up now, but he is gone.
Jamie Little has been covering Kyle Busch's pit for us tonight.
Well, Alan, at the beginning of the race, he actually asked his crew, did you guys take all the adjustments out from qualifying? This thing is plowing. They assured him, yes, we did, Kyle. Well, after he took the lead, things are looking better.
Not bad out front. Hey, boy.
just keep me updated here, because right now we're going to make quite a few changes. I'll back off on some of them if you get better here.
Help the exit a little bit tight, center of 4 to the straightaway, center of 2 to the straightaway. Right dead center, a little bit tight.
And Kyle, they're giving great feedback to Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief. They're looking to pit around lap 55 to 60. They're going to take a spring rubber out and make an air pressure adjustment. Marty?
All right, thanks for the update, Jamie. Kyle Busch, we told you he is continuing to add on to his new record for leading the most laps. He's now well over 2,300 laps led this year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
All I know is the rest of these guys better hope that he doesn't get that thing right, or they'll be looking in their rearview mirror to see him the next time.
You know why they want to keep adjusting on this car, though? Because every time they look in their rearview mirror at the end of these races, they got that Joey Logano right there. And he's working on his car the whole race. And right now, he's one of the fastest cars on the track.
And last lap, he was faster than Kyle, 30.8 to a 31 flat. Look at the action right here. And you've got Casey Kane as we look back. And that's Carter getting passed. He's a lap vehicle. And there goes Ryan Newman around Justin Allgaier, and that is for 9th position. And here comes Jeff Burton. Remember how badly Burton qualified, and now he is on the move towards the front as well. He qualified 25th.
See, Justin Allgaier struggling a little bit right now, and I think part of that could be the same thing with Carl a little bit. Cars might have been a little bit on the tight side, which allowed them in the afternoon when it was a little bit hotter racetrack, that their cars were really good right then, but they may be paying the price right now and need to make some adjustments maybe to loosen these race cars up.
Yeah, we even heard Kyle Busch talking about how tight his car was, and he's out in front by almost 4 seconds.
Well, Burton made that pretty easy as he gets around. And remember that the 66 came in for a pit stop, had to go start towards the rear of the field. Well, since the restart, he has been the biggest mover, picking up 17 spots. He's up to 19th right now. And now we go for the battle for third as Casey Kane is looking to get around Gilliland. Down the backstretch, Gilliland coming back on him.
Not this time. It looks like Casey's really good on the bottom of the racetrack. You see that one car, Gilliland, now. Going to probably give this spot up.
He clears him coming out of 4. So move Casey Kane up to 3rd. Let's get more from Shannon Spake.
How cool does that 43 car look on the track right now? Casey Kane adds his name to the list of drivers who have been privileged enough to drive the 43 car, the winningest car number in NASCAR history. They know how important this race is. Speaking with his crew chief today, they said, listen, Richard Petty nominated to the Hall of Fame, Casey Kane in the car, and of course it's the 43 here in the Nationwide Series. We really want to win here today. Casey Kane started this race 16th, and he has moved his way up into the top 3. For the 43 right now, it's just getting a little bit tight, and they're talking about the wedge on the first pit stop.
Thanks for the update. It is a sharp car, you got to admit.
Oh, man, you're talking about pretty.
Yeah, I have to catch myself every time I look at it and not say Richard Petty's out there.
Boy, take a look. Tony Stewart looks like he was standing still there for a moment as the 99 of David Rudiman blows by on the high side. And here comes Keselowski. So is there something wrong with the 5 car?
I know he's probably still a little bit concerned about that right front tire rub.
That bumps him back to 15th. And now it's side by side, Rudiman and Keselowski. Whoa, getting awfully close to touching.
Yeah, Tony is still having a problem there. He'll do more than just, obviously it's a serious problem if it's still rubbing the tire, but it literally, as you get down and everything compressed down the center of the corner, it'll almost jerk the steering wheel out of your hand sometimes. So I'm sure that the car is just not handling quite as good as what he would like for it right now.
Well, Keselowski started 29th. He has fought his way up to 13th. Vince, you've got more?
That's right, and they knew that they were just going to be picking their way through the field here. They knew, even though, as you said, Marty, they would start 29th, they would have a much better car than that. They did come in and make that earlier pit stop, taking on fuel and also making sure that they didn't have damage to their valence, which they thought initially they had a little more significant impact up front, but it was okay, and that's certainly good news for them as they start to march their way through this field.
Well, he has pulled away from David Rudiman now. He's 15 seconds behind the race lead in 13th position. Of course, Kyle is checked out as there he is, putting Jeremy Clements down. Clements, 27th position, had his best run ever last week. He came home 12th for the car and himself. All right. During the commercial break, boy, the one car of David Gilliland gave everybody a bit of a fright. All of a sudden, it just looked like he had an anchor.
Yeah, it looked like he just stopped right here coming off the corner. Man, Brian Vickers just does a great job not to crash, both of them.
Let's listen to the onboard and see if we can pick anything up.
32 getting run on the high side, one behind you. Keep digging now, coming hard. Outside.
Vince, you got more?
Well, this car started out really good in the early part of the run, but it is really super tight now. And, of course, when you can't turn it in the middle, that means you're not going to get off the corner. And that's exactly what happened. He was not able to get off that corner, and the 32 about ran over him.
And our race leader has pulled into pit lane. Jamie, it's all yours.
And right before he came in, Kyle Busch said he felt like the sway bar was broken or something was dragging. So the team taking a look at that. They're taking the left rear spring rubber out, air pressure adjustment, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. You see the front and rear tire changers have a light strip to help them see in these dark conditions, Dave.
His teammate Joey Logano was running in fourth. The car kept getting tighter. In fact, Joey said, let's make a bigger adjustment than we even talked about. Looked like it's going to be air pressure. Don't know if I saw a chassis adjustment there on the right side or not, but he wants a big swing at it at this point in the race because he felt like the car was getting more and more difficult to turn. Shannon.
Ryan Newman in the 33 car says the car is tight all the way through the turns. It is an air pressure adjustment and 4 tires for Newman. And Casey Kane in that 43 car, they're also struggling with the handling. He says the car is tight. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for Casey Kane in those awesome looking colors. Looks so good down here on pit road. 4 tires for Kane.
And there is Mike Bliss, the winner here back in May, as he also comes in for his pit stop.
See him pulling off the windshield tear-offs. Jamie?
And Brian Vickers said he was tight, center, 4 tires, fuel, air pressure adjustment. He said it's getting a little bit better. You see the pink car there for Brian Vickers.
The one car of David Gilliland is in. We just mentioned a moment ago the car had really gone tight. They're going to make a 4 tire change, air pressure adjustment only, along with Sunoco fuel. Gilliland got no practice in this car at all. He was surprised at how good it was early, but he had his hands full late in the run.
So all these pit stops under green and waiting for Carl Edwards, and here he comes. He peels off from 3rd. Now, he missed pit road the first time. There's the commitment cone. He realizes, I'm not going to get down. Oh, no, that was Vickers. There it was.
They went by right there.
Yeah, he wanted to get down, but the one car was underneath him. Dave?
The pole sitter, Carl Edwards, had fallen back to 8th position during this run. That'll be a wedge adjustment in the right rear of the car. Also air pressure as well. They needed to work a lot on this race car. Carl just could not turn it, and he was falling back further and further. Good stop for these guys. He's back off pit road.
And while all this is going on, David Ruderman has trouble, and they have stalled the car and got to push it back. And 16 is in for Matt Kenseth, our race leader. Shannon.
Matt Kenseth says the car is too tight. Another driver battling that condition on the racetrack. Air pressure, 4 tires for the 2-time Charlotte winner.
We can tell you also the 99 of David Ruderman is back under power and pulling down pit road. Jeff Burton has rotated through to the race lead, but remember, he still has to make a pit stop. He last stopped on lap 18. Look at this 4 wide. Oh, this is going to be big.
Yeah, that was a...
Stephen Wallace into the wall. The one car, Gilliland.
Yeah, that was David Gilliland made a really risky move there. Put Stephen Wallace in a bad position.
And that's the second time this weekend that Kevin Hamlin's had his car smashed.
Yeah, Stephen's car's torn all 2 pieces here.
Sorry, my friend, that's terrible.
This may...
Okay, Steve-O.
Just put Justin Allgaier, unless something happens to him. There goes Justin by him. Remember the battle for 5th, and Gilliland, I'm sure, is not going to be real popular with a couple of guys right now.
And I'm thinking he might even got down in the grass with his left side tires.
Yep, he made it 4 wide coming through here. You see, he gets a big run on these 3 cars.
And I think Stephen was doing a great job being a little patient there. He could have pushed the issue even before. But right here, the track narrows up. Gilliland goes through the grass, and that shoots him over. into Stephen Wallace. Just a huge mistake right there.
Boy, John West Townley did a nice job of not making it a 4-car deal. On board with Gilliland. Listen.
Look who you're messing with. 4 wide, 4 wide. Come on, man. Hold on to it.
On board with Steven.
Middle 3, just a 1 coming in here with fresh. Top of 4, middle of 4, inside.
Yeah, Steven just got blindsided right there.
Hang on to it, Steve-O.
From across the track, watch, you'll see the left side tires go into the dirt right there. And there he goes. Okay. All right, leaders are coming back in, so let's send it down to Jamie.
And Jeff Burton's taking advantage of this. He didn't have a great qualifying spot, so they're taking advantage of track position. This is the second time pitting tonight. They pit at lap 18 and took 2 tires. They're taking 4 this time, Vince.
The 88 of Brad Keselowski started 29th, came in 3rd, says that was an awesome call, Pops. It was free off the corners, don't want to change anything. Dave?
Tony Stewart's car very tight, 2 rounds up on the track bar, plus a spring rubber in the left rear. 4 tires full of Sunoco fuel. Eric Darnell on pit road as well. He'll get 4 tires. Another chassis adjustment for Darnell.
And those are all cars that last pitted on lap 18. You can see the race off pit road. Keselowski and Leffler pick up a spot. Kyle Busch picks up 9. No tires, obviously, just topping off with fuel. And Mr. Blaney loses a couple. Our race leader, as we sort all this out. Right now, we'll wait and see where the pace car picks everybody up at on the racetrack, because we've still got the wave around to take care of. So wait for the official crossing on the timing and scoring line.
Yeah, we had so much going on there with that crash right in the middle of the cycle of green flag pit stops, and we had a handful of cars, quite a few cars actually, that pitted on lap number 18, which gave them 18 laps they could run longer.
And we are being told that the 28 of Kenny Wallace is now the race leader, because he has not pitted since lap 18. So we'll take a quick break here, sort everything out when we come back. All right, let's give you the waiver rounds first here at the Dollar General 300. There were 9 of them. Kane, Logano, Kenseth, Vickers, Bliss, Rudiman, Edwards, Newman, and Justin Allgaier. It will be Jeff Burton now, as Kenny Wallace did finally take his pit stop. So it'll be Burton with Brad Keselowski, Jason Leffler, Dave Blaney, Kyle Busch 5th, Eric Darnell 6th, Tony Stewart 7th, Al Mirola 8th, Keller now 9th, and Sorensen 10th. And Jason Keller in 9th, he has now moved into 6th place in that points championship chase, as we're back to green flag racing.
That was a huge break for all of those waiver round guys, but in particular David Rudiman, who had that problem getting his car restarted after that green flag pit stop.
Jeff Burton takes advantage on the restart. 3 wide, further back. Looks like everybody's going to settle down at least for turn 3. One car drifts up there. No harm, no foul. Look at Dave Blaney and the 87.
He's digging now. He had a little bit of contact early in the race off of turn 4.
There's Kyle Busch. He gets underneath the 38 of Jason Leffler. A lot of sparks. Oh, no contact. The 38 gets into Darnell. Leffler loses it. Here comes everybody else. Look out.
No, it's not. There's Kenseth involved.
Logano gets involved for the second week in a row, but this damage is much worse than last week's, where he nudged the wall. This time he spanks it.
Yeah, you see Darnell getting out of the car.
A little bit of fire underneath the 6.
Don't know exactly what happened. Looked like the 38 got loose down there.
I think exactly what Rusty Wallace was talking about on these restarts in the countdown show. You go down in there on the inside, you don't have the air on the spoiler, you're driving hard, the car bottoms out a little bit, shoots you up the racetrack, then you collect whoever's on the outside of you.
And there is torn up.
Boy, yeah. Matt led this race early. Led a total of 24 laps. He's one of 6 leaders that we've had. There's what's left of Jason Leffler's pink Great Clips Toyota.
That 6 car is destroyed. There's Darnell.
Eric, his future in doubt. Roush has said they're trying to find the funding to keep him in that car for next year, but keep him on the team. But so far, nothing, and that's the damage to Joey Logano. And as we said, much more severe than last week's. 3 in a row may have just gone away.
See right there, Dave Blaney, the 87, passing these cars on the outside, and right behind them, looks like that 38 just got on the apron, got loose. You can see him correcting it right up into Eric Darnell.
He didn't have a great angle. He kind of came down. Tony Stewart gave Jason Leffler a little bit of a break and let him in right there. But then his car bottomed out, as you said, Andy, and shot him up the racetrack.
Now let's go back to where all this second group of cars came in.
You see, oh man,
they get jacked up.
Into Ken Butler and then into Kenseth. Then they come piling into Darnell.
The old accordion.
Well, they see the trouble ahead, and they're trying to get Woe down, and they start getting sideways and start getting into each other. You see right here, Casey Kane does, look at this, does a great job to miss all this.
Remember how John West Townley got by the last incident? He didn't make it through this one.
Look at Allgaier. He got slowed down just enough to get through here.
While all this was happening, remember from the previous crash, this is Stephen Wallace and his frustration. I think that helmet's going to have to go away. Shannon?
Yeah, obviously not happy with the way things have ended tonight. Stephen, this is the second wreck now that we've seen in a matter of a few minutes. What are the conditions like out there right now?
Conditions are fine. You just got to have guys that have respect for each other, not just wreck guys, you know. So a 5-hour Energy Chevrolet was really good. I apologize for what I did by throwing my helmet. That was really stupid and childish. I was just really frustrated. You know, when it rains, it pours, and it's really pouring right now for me. You know, we got wrecked in the past 3 weeks in a row. It's just probably the most frustrated I've ever been in my life. You know, I'm having a good season. It's just bad luck's going down. So we'll try and get this thing fixed and go back out there and, you know, make some laps.
This is a very important race. We talked about how big this race is. Do you think it's guys out there just racing because it's so important, or are they just getting out there being a little too aggressive too soon?
Well, I mean, I think a race is a race, and when you go through the grass and you completely left rear somebody at 200 mile an hour, that's kind of your fault. So I don't really know what to say. I believe I just got crashed. So we'll go back to Memphis. I run good there, and hopefully, have a good run. The only thing I can hope is that the 12 has some problems because we're getting killed on points here. So we've had 3 bad weeks in a row. Our cars have been running fast. And we're like 5 hour and everybody. And it's just we're trying, man. We're trying. We just got to dig a little harder here.
And he's, of course, talking about the points battle with Justin Allgaier for 5th position. The guys are busy in the garage trying to get that 66 fixed up and back out on the track to save some points.
Well, here's why. Right now, he is 100 points behind Justin Allgaier, and Jason Keller has moved ahead of him into 6th. He's now 7th. Here's what happened in that crash.
Yeah, this is obviously David Gilliland's fault. He drives in here 4 wide across the grass, comes over 2 lanes and gets into the left rear of Stephen Wallace. I see why he's so frustrated.
And then this is what just happened for our 3rd caution.
See, once again, down in turn 1 area, Jason Leffler's car bottoms out. He gets loose up into Eric Darnell, and then some other cars don't get slowed down. A lot of contact after that. It's torn up race cars. The 6 car got hit at least 3, if not 4 times during all of this.
Another view.
Yeah, kind of just minding his own business right there on the high side.
All clear. Clear by 2 out the back of the spin here. All clear.
And from Ken Butler's view.
Yeah, you'll see Casey Kane just sneak by on the outside of Eric McClure.
Spin in front of you, back at that.
Now everybody starts crashing.
Yeah, Ken Butler got hit by the 20 car right there as he slowed down to avoid it.
And from the view of Carl Edwards.
In front of you, got to slow it down. They're stacking up hard. Slow it down, stay low. Get to the apron, get to the apron. Still the apron. Yellow's out, yellow's out. Good job.
That's a spotter who just helped save your car. He knew exactly where to tell Carl to go. I'll give you the list of everybody who is now off or out of this race when we come back. It's long. A very frustrated Jason Leffler as he looks at the crew working. The list is long on to how many cars are behind the wall right now. We saw Carl drive through it. Let's get with him on the in-race reporter and find out what his thoughts were.
Hey, Carl, DJ, you got a copy?
I got you, Dale.
Well, from our vantage point, that looked pretty close, huh?
think it looked close from your vantage point. I don't know, a little mouse about jumped off of my car on that one.
All right, well, we're glad you made it through that. How's your car?
You know, I think it's better now. What we did was we started too tight, and I was really battling just being able to go fast to the corner. And Dan freed it up here a little bit, and we'll see if it's enough.
Any change in the racetrack so far from maybe what you saw last night?
You know, it gets a little more slippery. The track gets a little slicker as we go. And then the thing that we didn't see in practice is we're running slower. You know, we're running a little lower speed, and so the car acts a little differently. But really, it's staying pretty close, just a little slicker.
All right, man, I know you're in the middle of a race, but we'd be remiss up here in the booth without saying our congratulations to you and your wife, Kate, on the announcement that you're going to have a baby here in the near future.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dale. I appreciate it. Yeah, talk to me anytime, man. I enjoy it. I'm kind of bored out here running around under yellow.
All right, buddy, go forward. We'll talk to you later on.
All right, see you, man.
Look boring. Tell Carl he can give the list of all the cars that are going to be off or out. Let's get the flip side of this story first, Shannon.
Well, you can see the guys working on the 38 car back here in the garage down here with Jason Leffler. Can you tell us what happened out there, Jason?
I just got loose, getting run over. I mean, we didn't have the race car to start up in third position, and I was getting run over from the restart. Got into one too hard. I think the 5 was under me and just got loose right in the middle and wiped out, whoever was in the top 10 there. I feel really bad about that, but it was not one of our best nights. We didn't have a good car. The great clips camera's usually really fast. It was good here in the spring, and tonight it wasn't. And but the way the strategy worked out, we were able to. Pit crew did a great job. The way it all worked out, we restarted third, and we should have never been there.
Jason, I saw you walk over to Matt Kenseth, who's parked right next to you in the garage. What'd you say to him?
I just told him sorry. I mean, I wiped out him and Darnell, and who knows else, but. I don't know. I should have known better. I should have known we should have had a better car. I should have known better. And it's just a tough position to be in, you know. I mean, you start up front like that, you got to have a car to stay there.
Thanks, Jason. Vince?
Well, and certainly frustrating for Matt Kenseth as well. He was running up front in this race in the early stages of it. What happened as you tried to slow down there when you saw it happening in front of you?
Well, I saw maybe a little later than some others, but I seen it when I entered turn 1, and I was following Casey, and Casey went outside of that trash bait car, and I followed him out there, and I could see that car spinning and caught me in the left rear there and just got me caught up in an accident. So you knew it was going to be exciting. You had some cars in there that were probably 7 or 8 tenths off some of the other cars because of pit strategy and that 20-lap fuel window deal, so we just kind of got collected up in a mess.
He had a better car than he deserved standing here talking about it, guys, unfortunately. Jamie?
And Eric Darnell has been released, and he's okay. And Eric, you said you didn't really see what happened until you saw the replay. What do you think?
Just a tough deal, a racing deal, I guess. I initially thought that the 5 had gotten underneath the 38. They're getting into 1. It might have crowded him a little bit, but after seeing the replay, it looked like the 38 just kind of bottomed out, and he lost it and run up the track and hit us. But just a tough break for our Northern Tool and Equipment Ford team. These guys worked really hard in practice at putting a good car underneath me, and we had a solid car tonight. The first 2 pit stops, we made some really good adjustments, and I felt like we were heading in the right direction with the car, and we were running, I guess, 6th right there when that deal happened. But we're just looking to get a good finish tonight, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. I hate it for all the guys back in the shop that are going to work on this thing. Now we got another tore-up race car, but that's a pretty tough deal.
Thanks, Eric. He'll be back in the car next week at Memphis, guys.
Yeah, that crash right there was a product of just that cycle of pit stops. It fell in there, that caution that broke them all up, and you had some guys that were staying on the racetrack, and they restarted in front of a lot of fast race cars, and that's what you heard Jason Leffler say.
All right, here's the list. Kenseth, Butler, Leffler, Darnell, Stephen Wallace. They're listed as off behind the wall. Hamlin is out, O'Quinn's out, Green's off, Carter off, Ponstein, Stenhouse Jr., Miller, Setzer, Chapman. 13 cars, some of them starting parks, obviously, but a lot of carnage. Now, the lucky dog from Aaron's goes to the 96, this time Michael McDowell, and we missed the one earlier because we got back to the crash so fast. That was Kevin Conway on the last time around on our second caution. So we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing finally here. We've had 20 laps of caution during these 3 caution periods. Hopefully no more crashes, guys. Let's go lean, mean, and green the rest of the way here at Lowe's.
See Jeff Burton there on the outside and spin his tires a little bit.
It's Keselowski alongside in second, then Kyle Busch, Stewart, then Annette and Blaney, the top 6. 22 cars on the lead lap, and believe this or not, folks, Joey Logano and Sorensen, they made multiple pit stops during that caution. They stayed on the lead lap. He pitted 5 times under the caution.
Brad Keselowski get just a little bit loose there, coming out of 4.
Boy, 3 wide, and look at Casey Kane. He was the meat in the sandwich for a second, but he finally gets ahead and manages to get past. Now he looks like he's going to go underneath Kevin Conway in the 26, and he's back in that middle. That's not a good place to be.
Just thinks better of that and falls in behind Mike Bliss there. See if they could go on the inside and make some headway.
Brendan Gaughan in the 62 as well. There's David Rudiman. As we told you, he got refired. That's 3 wide coming through the tri-oval. That's Vickers, the meat in that sandwich. Look out, fellas. Holy smokes, these guys. They're racing like it's the last 5 laps.
Yeah, these two right here racing for second place. Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch. They've been side by side since the restart. Keselowski hanging tough on the outside.
On board with Brad.
You can see he just didn't quite clear him. He was there. He was that close, but the spotter couldn't clear him.
That's first, second, and third. So we've got action moving in on the race lead. A little bit further back. Oh, we've got another caution. We got debris over in turn 3.
Yeah, it's not surprising with all the cripple cars that we've got out there and all the contact that some of the parts will fall off of these race cars. Put a damper on a good race right there, though.
Man, those guys were going at it. Not just the front. Those Brad and Kyle racing for second.
And somebody kicked that debris up off the racetrack after the caution came out, went through the grill of the 61 car.
And Chase Miller, we're told, has jumped into that car. Matt Carter started it. So we're under our 4th caution now.
Up here.
And if I'm not mistaken, that will give Brendan Gaughan the lucky dog.
Good for him. I look up looking at the running order there. We've got some guys that we haven't seen up in the top 10. Michael Annett having another good run. Dave Blaney, Eric Almirola, Tony Raines.
A good run for Annett. Right now he's shown in 5th. Almirola up to 7th. Jeremy Clements, again, 14th.
Yeah, he's up in the top 15.
So, I mean, you're right.
It's an opportunity when you have a lot of cars, good cars get knocked out. It's going to be an opportunity for a lot of guys to get good finishes tonight.
You see Tony Raines going by. He in the 34, listed in 8th position right now. There goes Clement. Now, this is going to be a very quick yellow.
When they say quickie yellow, that means that everybody can pit. All the lead lap cars and the lap down cars can pit at the same time.
Now, most of these cars last pitted on lap 64. Some of them, like Ryan Newman at lap 70, Mike Bliss at lap 71. There you can see that John West Townley, their crew, still working on that car. So it looks like we don't have very many takers since we're only working lap number 82. Stay with us.
With 16 laps to halfway, and that's the radar. That's about just over 20 miles from this racetrack.
How can the weatherman be wrong all the time?
And that's what a
50-50 chance.
That's what a 15% chance of showers looks like, folks. The crew chiefs really have something on their hands to think about now. Hey, Petrie, want to be back on a pit box right now?
Unbelievable. You're our go-to guy, Alan, when it comes to bad weather.
You know what I say about weather, guys? They're 75% correct, 15% of the time. All right, we're going back to green flag racing. It is Jeff Burton, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart. That's your top 4. Burton gets a good restart. But here comes Keselowski underneath. Right behind him is Kyle Busch. Down the backstretch, 2 abreast, 3 abreast further back. Heading into 3, they're going to go door to door. Look at Michael Annett.
Get tricky right here coming off the corner.
This is where we've had some problems. Getting awfully dicey. There we've got contact, a little nudge. And Kyle goes around.
Yeah, that's a strong move by Kyle Busch right there. He was able to stay in the throttle and keep his car right on the bottom.
Looking like 3 wide with Michael Annett possibly in that sandwich, but Newman thinks better of it. They head towards turn 3. At least the first 5 have sort of settled down.
Jeff Burton doesn't know all the excitement that's going on behind him, but he's about to get a dose of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, he's getting ready to find out just how strong this 18 car is.
Tony Stewart has moved into third. Then in fourth, it is Dave Blaney. Remember, Blaney scraped from the wall.
Got a big run up top, trying to come outside.
Here we go. You've heard the call from the spotter, and there he goes.
Man, he just pulled the trigger and blew right by him on the outside.
So Kyle, who has led 35 laps already, makes it our 8th different lead change in this race, despite the fact we've had 4 cautions. Oh, we got contact in the wall.
No
Did
caution.
they just brush it?
Somebody got up against the wall on turn 3 and 4.
Not enough to bring out a caution. Thank goodness. Let's stay green.
It looks like Tony Stewart here in third's got his car running a little bit better right now.
How about Dave Blaney now? They fixed that car up. Got this 87 car really steaming to the front.
There's Justin Allgaier right now with a lot of breathing room for that 5th and final spot on the podium as he's going around the 42 of Eric Almirola. Here comes Brian Vickers, and he's going to try and do the same number on him. All of a sudden, you were talking about Blaney. He's going high side for position on Tony Stewart. And it looks like he may clear him. It does, Vince.
How about the run Dave Blaney's had that I remember lap 14, he got into the wall, got tight, fell to 16th, pitted to fix the damage, restarted 36th, then up to 15 by lap 42, then into the top 10, then the top 5. What a run for Dave Blaney, and credit that pit crew for getting the job done and the car repaired when they came in for their stops. Dave?
You guys wondered about the 5 car of Tony Stewart. He says it is a little bit better, but remember, he's only had a short run of green flag laps to really determine that. He did get passed right there by Blaney. But what about that right front tire that we said was a problem earlier during the second run, which was twice as long? Don't know if we have the tape to show you that, but there was still the groove in the right front tire. It was the same exact depth, however, so the team knew that that wasn't getting any worse. So they left him out there. They have not made any repairs or replacements to that right front fender brace area. They think so far so good for Tony Stewart.
Well, they've got some damage now, Dave, on the left front fender. Looks like he's had some contact with somebody on one of these restarts. That's something they'll need to get fixed because it's going to affect the performance of the car.
There's Tony Raines. These are guys that we don't normally see running in this freight train. That's Tony in 10th, Mike Wallace in the 01 in 11th, Justin Allgaier 12th, and then Brian Vickers. And right in front of Tony is Mike Bliss. So great runs going right there. And look at this side by side. That's Michael Annette under attack from Bliss, and Tony Raines wants a piece of the action too. And on the right side of your screen, Blaney is going for second. What a great race this has been, as long as we can keep it green.
Yeah, man, this Dave Blaney's got a fast hot rod tonight. Tricky off turn 4 right there on the bottom.
Drop, boy, and Burton almost gets up against the wall and keeps the momentum to get back the position and clears. Blaney says, okay, I'll try it again.
Yeah, he's going to try it on the outside. Get a run on the outside because he knows that's where he really wants to do, to make his pass if he possibly can to keep that momentum.
While all this stuff has been going on, Kyle Busch has a 2.5 second lead. There goes Brian Vickers around Tony Raines. Had to check up for a moment because he was closing too quickly on Michael Annette.
Now he gets the big run off the corner.
Saw Justin Allgaier take a peek on the high side of the 01 of Mike Wallace. Had to think better of it. Now he's going to try it again as they head down to 1. And it looks like he's going to be able to clear him. Meanwhile, let's go back to this battle because Blaney's back underneath the 29. Down into the corner, and this time Blaney, can he make it stick? You're watching from on board, and Keselowski's got him cleared. You're right. So Blaney goes up to second. Had his only Nationwide Series victory here back in October of 2006. He was driving that 32 car for Todd Braun. And you want to know why everybody's in a hurry? There's your reason. On the right side, the rain is on its way. All 20% of it is going to get dumped right on us.
Yeah, we didn't have many cars come in under that last caution period, but Casey Kane was one of those cars that did. And if this goes long enough before that rain gets here and these other guys have to pit, then Casey Kane's got a little bit more time before he has to hit pit road again.
Right. Casey pitted on lap 82. He's shown in 14th place right now. Everybody else in front of him basically around lap 64. Want to see what's happening with Kyle? He's checking out. 3.1 seconds. Bye-bye, boys.
Man, he's gone.
Here comes Casey as he gets around Mike Wallace. So that moves Kane up to 13th. Well, at least momentarily. And then Rudiman's going to try and freight train right behind him. Wallace not giving up the position easy. Finally, Kane clears him. Tony Raines going underneath Justin Allgaier right ahead of him. That too for position. We are 4 laps from halfway. Allgaier coming back on the high side on Tony Raines. Kane's trying to pick the lane on which is going to work best for him to follow. He's picked Allgaier. Raines says, okay, you guys stay up there. Allgaier clears Raines. Now here comes Casey.
In our first green flag run, this 43 car, Casey Kane, was one of the fastest cars at the end of that run. So if we can stay green and get enough laps before that rain comes, Casey Kane will have some time to get back up into the top 5.
He has been one of our 6 different race leaders, and he's on the underneath side of the 12 of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, this is a tough pass trying to get down on the inside and make that pass. You can see Allgaier in the 12 car able to keep the momentum on the outside. Dave?
Guys, they have improved that car for Justin Allgaier. He was one of the guys that came down most recently for 4 tires. Most of the night, though, it has been tight. That's what lost him positions early on. Allgaier now riding that high line, trying to get by the 43, but Shannon, he's not letting him by.
No, this is some great racing here at Lowe's on the 1.5 miles. Shannon?
Well, Casey Kane right now, eventful day so far. They had a problem on pit road. You guys remember he was running in the top 5, came down pit road, did not get all the fuel in that car, so they had to come back down. The car's also been bottoming out the entire race, so they've gone back and forth on some wedge adjustments. Finally, hopefully, they got that car right for 43 because there's not much time with that radar looking the way it is.
And we're working lap 100. Will be official in the books this time by. You saw what was going on all over the screen. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch has pulled a 3.2-second lead over Dave Blaney, Jeff Burton, Brad Keselowski, and Tony Stewart. Back here at the Dollar General 300, Casey Kane had moved up to 10th, but he's been black flagged. His window net is down. He said on the radio, well, it's been down for 20 minutes. Well, they finally noticed, and you can't run that way.
No, that's a safety feature for sure that you have to have up. Matter of fact, that window net was developed a long, long time ago from a bad crash that Richard Petty had at Darlington. And they invented that window net to keep the arms inside the car in case the car starts flipping, so they got to get that up.
Let's also tell you, Jeff Burton came in for a pit stop. He is now shown 1 lap down in 25th position. He was running 3rd at the time. Now here is the replay, and you can see Casey signaling everybody, hey, I got to go in.
Yeah, he had to come in for that window net. Obviously, Jeff Burton had a vibration, and it kept getting worse, so he had to hit pit road to take care of that.
So it's now Kyle Busch first, Dave Blaney second, Brad Keselowski third, Carl Edwards fourth, and Mike Bliss fifth. And believe it or not, right now with the way Bliss has been running, he has moved into 7th place in the points championship chase. That continues to ebb and flow.
Yeah, right here, Casey Kane slots in right behind Kyle Busch, so he'll have a good place to run and kind of gauge himself against Kyle, even though he's a lap down. He is in that lucky dog position.
Well, he is shown in 27th
Actually,
now,
2 laps
and he's now two down, so not in the lucky dog position. In fact, it would go to David Gilliland, who is in 22nd. But right now, with this race being official, guys want to pour the laps into the books with everybody knowing rain is on the way. So while we've got the chance with a 4.3-second lead, how about, Alan, you take it over for a Verizon Wireless race rundown?
Yeah, it's been a rather eventful first half of the race tonight here in Charlotte, Marty. With Rusty and Brad, take a look at some of the eventful happenings. We got things starting pretty early on with some bent fenders.
Yeah, you see the 10-car, Reed Sorensen just gets loose. Ricky Stenhouse gets in the back of him. A big mayhem right there. Ricky's car tore up big time.
That was 12 laps into the race. Then at lap 63, middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops, David Gilliland in the one on fresher tires than some guys.
he gets underneath Hamlin and just flat takes Stephen Wallace out, who had a good, fast race car. Big mistake by David Gillen. He wrecked some good race cars right there.
So they go for the restart from that wreck, and right away after the restart, have another wreck.
Oh, boy, you see the 38 car. Watch this. Yeah, Jason Leffler, this kid's loose, goes up the racetrack, takes out Eric Darnell right there, and this is one of the biggest race wrecks of the night. Take a look at this. Everybody's stacking up behind. Oh, my gosh, there's only, I was looking, all the Roush cars getting wiped out. There's the 16 car. Getting tore up. Roush has only got one car left out of 4 that he started with.
And so as you watch Kyle Busch with a huge lead, some of the other drivers who were contenders earlier have had different troubles. There is the 43 car, Casey Kane. We saw that just a minute ago on pit road to get that safety net, the window net put back up. Andy referenced the big wreck that Richard Petty had back at Darlington many years ago that led to the innovation of that. Check this out if you've never seen this video before.
Boy, just an unbelievable crash. And I think
comes upside down, and you see the King hanging there upside down. Watch this thing when it stops. You just see his arm hanging out. There he hangs upside down, hanging out of the race car.
That was the damage to the retaining wall at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina back then. The King hurt in that accident. And so again, as often is the case through racing, from bad things come good safety innovations, and that window net a must for drivers now, and you got to pit if it's not up. Of course, Richard Petty, one of the nominees for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and congratulations to him for that honor. Again, May 23rd of next year, the induction, along with Junior Johnson, Bill France Sr., Bill France Jr., and Dale Earnhardt.
What a great group that was. I mean, just was a fantastic week here in Charlotte, the Hall of Fame. All 5 of those great guys getting ducked into it. I tell you what, going back to that window net a little bit, I mean, what a great run Casey was having, only to be taken out by something so small and really something so silly, I call it. I used to get in those cars and put a little piece of tape around there so you wouldn't have a problem.
Race for 5th place here. 32, Brian Vickers. 33 is Ryan Newman. And the Vic moving forward. The Braun Racing Team running pink cars tonight, along with their sponsor, in support of the awareness of breast cancer and those who are suffering from it. And we tip the cap to them for that tonight. Remember that rain is approaching. We've had a lot of drivers have troubles tonight trying to rally back from that. You saw Kane with his issue. Joey Logano earlier was involved in that big wreck we just saw, the one off of turn 2 that had all the cars piling up in the aftermath. You see some of the damage on this 20 car. Logano pitted 8 times under the caution for that cleanup, and right now he's on the verge of pulling back into the top 10.
And that was the key thing you just said there, Alan. Pitting 8 times. He's got that rear spoiler back in shape where it needs to be. The left-hand corner of the car aerodynamically is not nearly as important as the right rear corner. They spent some time. They got this car back in shape, and I'm watching the speeds right now. They're pretty respectable. Top 10 speeds at the moment for Logano.
Some troubles for Mike Wallace. Engine failure being
that's
reported.
Too bad. Mike was doing a good job and got up around the top 15, run really hard, and was really racy. Hate to see Mike have trouble.
Joey back into the top 10. That's the 10th spot he just took from Tony Stewart. And remember, on that 5 car, they've had concerns with the right front tire all night. He also had a little contact and a little 3-wide dust up after a restart. So Tony is falling backwards and sliding out of the top 10. Kyle Busch leading. His rival for the Nationwide Series Championship, Carl Edwards, is running in 4th place now. Key moment in this one tonight, Carl started on the pole, never led a lap, and has not gotten 5 bonus points toward the championship. That's big when you start on the pole and can't collect those bonus points when you're trying to catch a guy for the title. So how close is the rain? 84 laps to go, and these leaders coming up on a set of pit stops.
I can't stand the rain.
Back here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, where our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. How about if we go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance? Let's start off with our race leader. Jamie, you're up.
Well, it has been 11 races since Kyle Busch has gone to victory lane in the Nationwide Series. Could tonight maybe be his night? Well, the team right now, talking to the driver, he says the car is good. It's a little wiggly, but he likes it right now. They're looking at lap 133 to come in for a pit stop, Vince.
The 87 of Dave Blaney may just be the story of the night in this race. He's running second after wall contact early in the race and a series of pit stops to fix his car. Blaney has one Nationwide Series win, and he got it right here at Lowe's in 2006. He's having a great night tonight. The 88 of Brad Keselowski. We expect him to be running up front, but he had to come from near the back to do it. He started 29th tonight, says the car is a little bit tight, but it's not too bad. He's having a pretty good run with it so far, up in the top 5. Dave?
To try to beat the JGR juggernaut, Carl Edwards' group put together a brand new race car. It was ready before Fontana, but then when they got back from Fontana, they had to take it to the K-Rig on Monday, the 7-post on Tuesday, the wind tunnel on Wednesday. They finally got into the track here on Thursday, and that was the first time Carl sat in it. It was good enough for the pole. He needs to be freed up just a little bit to be better, Shannon.
Well, one driver who knows about winning rain-shortened races here at Charlotte is Mike Bliss. He won this race earlier this season. This is a 3-race deal that he's doing with the 11 team. He said his goal is to finish in the top 10 in the points, despite playing musical chairs with teams for the rest of the season. Currently 7th with this great run in the point standings. Mike Bliss says the car is just a little bit tight. Jamie?
And Brian Vickers in the 32 started 9th, but they were caught up in that big multi-car crash. They had a bunch of damage on the hood. Hats off to this team. They went to work. He made 3 pit stops to fix it. They remained on the lead lap. Brian said, guys, we've got a great race car. Let's keep digging. Shannon?
Well, the 33 team, Ernie Cope, crew chief, said, you know, Charlotte is not my favorite racetrack. We don't ever really finish well here. Well, so far things have been pretty good for Ryan Newman tonight in that 33. He avoided the big wreck. He had to come through the grass. They came down pit road, made sure there was no damage, and there was none. The car is a little bit tight for the 33, but this is a good-looking run for Ryan Newman. Dave?
Justin Allgaier runs in the 8th position behind him, Shannon. That tight race car has freed up a little bit, but there is a question. It's unpredictable off of turn 4. He radios that sometimes it feels really loose, sometimes it feels really tight. I'm not quite sure how Chad Walters is going to adjust to that on the next stop. Here comes Joey Logano. Yeah, that beat-up 20 car, but we've seen it run fast before. Great job by these guys to get it back in the show, and another solid run for Joey Logano after all that trouble in that wreck. Vince?
Well, another one of those guys that may be a surprise to you running in the top 10, the 34 of Tony Raines. It has been a good run for Raines. He started 35th tonight. He's picked up 25 spots. Says the car's a little bit free. They haven't made many adjustments tonight, just an air pressure and a track bar adjustment, but another good run for the 34. Marty?
And let's round out the cars on the lead lap because it's only Tony Stewart in 11th, Eric Almirola, Michael Annett, and Reed Sorensen. 14 cars total we have on the lead lap, and then Brendan Gaughan is in 15th. And we have pit stops coming up. And do you have a sense of deja vu with Kyle Busch? Because remember back in May, he led 98 of the first 148 laps. He had to pit under green before the caution came out on lap 153. The rain came on lap 170. He ended up finishing 3rd in that race. And look at how close the rain is. It's about, what, 15 miles? You think?
Not far. It's going to get here before the end of the race.
So he's got a 5.8-second lead, as you see right there, over second place Dave Blaney. But the big question is, what will be Jason Ratcliffe's strategy? Because I guarantee you, he remembers what happened.
You got me one. Let's do 134 here. That'll buy some on the other side.
He's led 79 laps so far. We've had a total of 9 different lead changes. He's one of 6 leaders in this race, and we are 70 laps away. And Jason Keller's in. Let's go over the wall.
Have a good one. This is the money stop right here, boys. This is the way it's done. Woo! Go, baby, go! Yeah!
And the 87 of Dave Blaney is in. Vince?
That's right. They're not going to make any changes to this car at all. That's how good it is. Just 4 tires and fuel for Blaney. Dave?
Tony Stewart said make half the adjustment, half more of the adjustment you made last time. That was track bar and a spring rubber in the left rear. The biggest problem has been that left front fender that was banged in. The car was much tighter on this run for Tony. He fell from 4th way back to 11th when they pitted this time. They will get 4 fresh tires. Let's see if they work on that left front fender a little bit. A little bit of a tug right there. Big tug, actually. And Tony Stewart will leave pit road. Vince?
The 34 of Tony Raines, we mentioned just a moment ago, and up to speed how well they have been running tonight. No chassis adjustment for the 34. Just a 4-tire stop and Sunoco fuel for Tony Raines.
Carl Edwards' car started that run just a little bit free. As the run went along, he radioed in neutral. Then at the end of the run, he said it's getting just a just a slight adjustment. He talked about just a hair of track bar. The wrench will go in the back there. Let's see how much a hair is as they get ready to turn it. 4-tire change as well. That's a full round, so that's a little bit more than a hair. They think they needed it. He'll get 4 fresh tires. At the time, he was running in 4th position when he hit pit road.
Carl's time, 15 seconds. Kyle Busch has yet to make his stop, nor has Brad Keselowski. But just as we say it, here he comes down pit lane.
4,000. Watch, it's 42.
Jamie?
And Kyle Busch said he's been happy with it, as I said. He said it was just a little wiggly, but he was happy with it. They were talking about fuel mileage. They have not mentioned the weather down here, guys. I know they're watching it. 4-tire Sunoco fuel for the 18. Michael Annett is in behind him. What a great run for him, coming off his best of the year in Fontana. He finished 6th. His car has been very neutral. This team really looking to get in the top 10, Vince.
The 88 of Brad Keselowski has been running up near the front as well. They've made a 4-tire change, a little slow to get off the jack there, over 16 seconds as Keselowski gets away. He says the car's just been a little snug. Shannon?
10-car of Reed Sorensen. What an eventful night. He was involved in that wreck early on with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on lap 14. The car has been loose for Reed Sorensen. Right now you see those guys going on to work on the pink car. There is a chassis adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for Reed Sorensen. Mike Bliss is also in right now. Mike Bliss having a great run today. He's on a 3-race deal with this team. He says the car is tight. There's going to be a chassis adjustment and 4 tires on this, the money stop. Ryan Newman is also in his pit box right now. They're going to add some tape to the front of the grill. They're also going to make an air pressure adjustment. Ryan Newman saying that the car is tight.
And through all this, Brian Vickers may look very good if the rain hits. Remember, he last pitted on lap 82. Second place is Justin Allgaier right now. There is David Rudiman as he is peeled off. Jamie?
And they're trying to bounce back from their misfortunes earlier when the car stalled out. You see the car on the right side. They're working on the left side. First time David Rudiman has been in the 99 this year. Remember, this team was together the last 2 years. It's kind of a reunion, but it hasn't been the night they wanted. They're having trouble again, guys. The gas tank was, you saw the catch can was stuck there. Now he stalled again. The same issue. They got him running. He's down and away. Dave?
JB, when the round of pit stop started, Justin Allgaier was running in the 8th position. They decided to work on the loose coming off of turn 4. They reduced the air pressure in that right rear tire. That should help Justin's car be a little bit more comfortable underneath him as he exits the corner. This Penske crew going to work now on the left side. Adjustment made that you couldn't see. Full of Sunoco fuel. They won't be able to make it from here, although I'll tell you what, guys, that is pretty darn close. Lap 138 on the board. That would be 62 with a couple caution laps. They could make it.
Well, and Brian Vickers, as we mentioned, he last pitted on lap 82. So did Joey Logano, who is running in 2nd place. Can you believe this? Logano, after having that contact, we thought that his chances were going to be very slim at best, and here we are with 61 laps to go, and he's got one guy in front of him. Both of them are going to have to make one more stop, but here comes the rain. That's
I'm not sure. There's a handful of those cars that can possibly make it. Kyle Busch being one of them. I mean, they can stretch that fuel just a little bit in this run and make it. I guess the big question is this rain? Are they going to be able to outrace the rain?
Correct, and that's the whole point. He had 14 laps in hand over Justin Allgaier, who just came in. So, it's just a matter of can he hold on, and does the rain help him, or does it stay dry enough so that both those cars, 1st and 2nd, Vickers and Logano, will have to pit. Brendan Gaughan right now. We only have 4 cars on the lead lap, folks, because of these green flag pit stops. Tony Raines is a lap down because he did pit. It is Vickers, Logano, Brendan Gaughan, who's 27 seconds behind the race lead, and Kyle Busch, who is 29 seconds. Kenny Wallace is shown in 5th, 1 lap down. This has really turned into a bizarre flip.
Yeah, and this is a lot different than a lot of other tracks. Vickers is getting ready to come on to pit road, but he hasn't been losing any time. Matter of fact, he's running as fast as anybody out there on fresh tires.
And you can take a look at the fuel window right there as they are winding down, and it's just a matter.
Brian Vickers just saw that, so he's coming in for fuel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stretch it another lap.
Jamie?
See, the teams and the drivers do watch and listen to us. It was time for Brian Vickers to come in. Remember, they had a lot of damage on the nose this car, and it has remained a rocket ship. This team's last win came with Kyle Busch last year. They're hoping to get it done tonight. 4 tires, and as you heard Brian Vickers on the radio, the car is good. It's the best it's been all night, guys.
So obviously his fuel mileage there late in the run as we stayed green. We talked about how many laps he had in hand, but not able to stretch it as far as they wanted to be able to. So he goes back out. Means that Joey Logano now takes over the race lead, but he's got to stop coming up as well. Logano last pitted on lap 82. You could see his cycle here. And how they were able to stay on that lead lap, pitting like, what was it, Alan said, 8 times, and kept beating on that car. And here is David Gilliland in, Vince.
Well, and Gilliland had that great run going early in the event today before the contact, and that's thrown his race off. It's a 4-tire change, trying to salvage something out of this one here today. The fuel, the Sunoco fuel as well, clear off the front of the grill, and Gilliland is down and away.
So as he goes back out, we'll tell you that it is Logano, Gone, and Kyle Busch, the only 3 cars on the lead lap. And here comes Brendan Gaughan. So Gaughan in second, peels off. Remember, he finished second here back in May. 45 miles an hour. You feel like you're snail's pace.
And just the fact that this 20 car, Logano is running as long as he is, means that those Gibbs cars are getting great mileage. Janet?
Brendan Gaughan, another one of those drivers involved in the early wreck. You see a chassis adjustment going on. The words he said has been extremely tight all day long for the 62 team. Those guys go on the left side. It's going to be 4 tires, chassis adjustment for Brendan Gaughan. Dave.
Joey Logano finally gives up the lead. He's got a chassis adjustment in there for a tight race car. And guys, for the last 12 laps, he's been fending off, if you will, mentally a vibration in that race car. So many things banged up in there. I'm not surprised. They're going to get it full of fuel, and if their mileage stays where it is, he should be able to make it to the end.
Well, all those cars that were a lap down are breathing a little easier because we're starting to see the pits cycle through, and now we show a total of 9-10 cars on the lead lap, and it will continue to grow because we've got a couple of more cars still to go, and the caution did not come out. So this race still not over. The complexion keeps changing. Kyle Busch out in front.
We are under caution here at Charlotte. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear New Fuel Max tires. Help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. After the cycle of green flag pit stops, Kyle Busch is the leader. Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski, Jeff Burton, and Tony Raines are the guys that have stopped under the caution. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch, Dave Blaney, Brian Vickers, they have stayed on the racetrack and run in the top 3 spots. So what happened to bring out this yellow flag? Well, trouble in turn number 2.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Yeah, off of turn 2. We've been talking that all day long, haven't we, Brad? Here's Kevin Conway gets loose. Boy, the baby starts pushing in front, and then the rear comes around. He stays in the throttle. Does a good job holding on to this baby, and look at the guys behind him do a good job getting around him.
Watch Michael Annette come into the picture here in that yellow and red car. Look at him. Whoa! Gets her woed up and gets around him. But I tell you, yet another caution on a caution-filled evening. Hope we can get these guys through these last 51 laps like I see them finish under green flag.
Rain approaching. The leaders should be able to make it from here to the finish on fuel. Don't think that's a problem anymore. The real problem is the guy driving that 18 car. He's real fast, and they haven't been able to slow him down yet.
Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's quickly check in on Kyle Busch's radio. I'm sorry, the 87 of Dave Blaney.
Yes, take care of the fuel. If it does go green or go all the way, Dave, we'll need it. And there's rain coming. It's not far away. It's at 77-85 junction right now, so it could rain on us in the next 10 minutes.
Show you the radar and exactly what they mean. There it is. That circle is about, what, 5 miles?
Not far, yeah. 77-85 junction is only about 7 or 8 miles away.
Michael Annett got the lucky dog. That means we have 13 cars back on the lead lap. It is Kyle Busch, Dave Blaney, Vickers, Bliss, Allgaier. That's your top 5 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here.
Yeah, you see the 43 right there, 5th row outside. Casey Kane got both of those laps back after having that winning net come down, so he's back in it now on the lead lap.
He is shown in 10th position. Joey Logano back in 12th, and we're back to green flag racing, and it's a race against the rain.
That Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski took the opportunity to come to pit road, so they're definitely going to have enough fuel to go to the end.
Look at Newman, 3 wide, and he goes around the 11 of Mike Bliss. A very gutsy move, because we've seen a lot of problems tonight when we had 3 wide, and here he goes again.
Yeah, he's trying to make some time right now up on that high side.
He's got Allgaier, and he's got Vickers right in front of him in the 32. Out in front, we can tell you Kyle Busch is pulled away already by half a second. Boy, Kyle is on a rail tonight. He has led 90 laps so far. There's Tony Raines and Casey Kane side by side. That is 4th position. That's 10th on the racetrack.
Okay, Raines' car is racy tonight.
On board with Brad Keselowski, who's right in front of him in 9th. There is what's left of Stephen Wallace's 66 car. Remember, they said they were going to try and get back out into the race, try and pick up a few laps. He is 88 laps down, but they're going to try and pick up as many points as possible. On the right side of your screen, Casey's got the 88 of Brad Keselowski in his sights.
Yeah, Jason Leffler came out earlier with his damaged race car, could only make about a lap and had to take it back to the garage area.
Let's go back and check on the race lead. Kyle Busch is almost up to a full second, Jamie.
Well, guys, I said in the last update, this team has not mentioned weather to Kyle Busch, and I know they're watching what we're watching, and they see the blob coming, so my question for Andy is, as a crew chief, what do? Do you tell your driver who's leading that rain is close?
He's already pulled out a second lead. I don't think he wanted to go much faster. No need to tell him right now, really. If he's out front and he's kind of in control, there's no need to tell him that rain's coming, because if it starts raining right now, he's sitting in the catbird seat.
Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton, that's 4th position, as was the pair right behind him, Brad Keselowski and Casey Kane. There is Newman. He's got the high side on the 11 of Bliss. Vickers, his next target. That is all 4th position as well. So we've got good action both sides of your screen. There goes Newman. He's clear. He has cleared the 32.
Yeah, that's most of we've seen him show all night long.
He is up to 4th.
Making nice adjustments on this car for Ryan Newman.
You're killing him in 3 and 4.
In fact, now it's up to 3rd, I should say. And it is now Casey getting underneath the 88. And here comes Logano. That's a little further back. That's for 10th. Put Kane up to 9th as he gets around Keselowski. Then put Logano in 11th. Justin Allgaier goes underneath the 32, so Vickers starting to go backwards. Dave?
By the way, just checking in on Justin Allgaier's fuel situation. Chad Walter nodded that they were okay to go till the end. And just think where this team has come this year with a rookie driver, basically a single-car team, and no cars built in December of 2008. A great run for Justin Allgaier here at the Lowe Motor Speedway as we see that battle on the left as well, Keselowski and Logano.
While all this is going on, you mentioned Allgaier and the battle. We can tell you the 66 is back in pit road, so we'll keep you updated on that. But there's so much good action going on out there, and there you see Logano clearing and taking over the position for 10th over Keselowski. He's got Casey Kane right in front of him. Meanwhile, it is now Kyle leading by 1.5 seconds with about 40 laps to go. 35 laps to go this time by. You can see this is all for position on the racetrack with Jeff Burton. And we just got word the 20, you see on the back of the car, that piece of metal hanging down, he has been black flagged. So Joey Logano's chances for a 3 in a row, which looks a lot better than they did a few minutes ago when he was in that big crash. Now are going to go away because under the green, he's probably going to go a lap down.
Yeah, they've done a great job to keep this car in contention after having it torn up so much, but they are going to have to come in and clean this up and get that piece that's dragging off of there before it falls off and goes through somebody's grill, or even worse, flying up in the stands or something. So they want to get that cleaned up.
Well, Jeff Burton leads that freight train. Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, and Logano. And we're on board with Carl. And there goes Kane around Burton.
He's finally able to get to the outside of Jeff Burton. They've been trying to pass Jeff on the inside and couldn't make that work. Jeff can keep the momentum. Here comes Carl.
So the high line looks like the way to go, and here comes Keselowski. So all of a sudden, Jeff Burton drops 3 spots that quick.
Joe Logano is on pit road now to get that piece of the bumper pulled off.
Meanwhile, we'll tell you Kyle Busch has a 1.9-second lead over Dave Blaney, and Blaney has like a 2-second lead over third. So nothing happening up front. This is where the best action on the racetrack is.
Yeah, we were talking about the rain stopping Kyle Busch. I think the only thing to stop Kyle Busch is if these other competitors don't behave and we have some more caution time.
Well, let's check in with his crew chief, Jamie.
Well, Jason Ratcliffe's sitting here. Jason, a while ago, you guys were a couple laps short. How are you looking now?
I think with that last caution, we should be pretty good. We're probably 1 lap to the good, so we'll see here. It looks like we got some weather coming. I don't think it'll get here before the scheduled distance, but if we get a green-white checker, it'll be close. I know some other cars are probably within a lap as well, but our Z-Line Designs Camry's been good all night. The guy's done a great job on pit road, and it's good to have our driver back in good health.
All right, well, you know the weather's coming, but your driver, I don't think, knows, so we'll wait until the end and see what happens.
Well, there goes Casey Kane around Allgaier. That is for 6th. And to put a period on Kyle as we get ready to head to break, he has won 4 times following a DNF for a crash, 2 of which came right here at Lowe's last season. Stay with us. Because Stephen Wallace is in trouble again. He had picked up 4 spots.
Pull to the garage here, guys. Let's clean up here. That's all we can do. Good job, everybody. Steve.
He picked up 4 more positions on the racetrack, which every point is valuable. And quite honestly, he could not have probably gained any more because the number of laps that are remaining were down to 26. So as you heard him say, just take it to the garage. Gallant effort, and you can see what happens. It's just stepped out on him.
Yeah, he's just got a lot of damage to the car. It's probably not handling well at all.
Let's go on board with him.
Easy. Just hold the brake. We just spun. Hold the brake, buddy. Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake. Everything's cool. We're on the apron. We'll be coming to you flat spotted.
So you have a minimum speed that you have to keep up, and Stephen was trying to get everything that he could to make sure he could do that to get as many laps there.
And the lucky dog this time will go to Tony Stewart. That's right, Tony had just gone a lap down, so that'll give us 13 cars on the lead lap. And yes, Joey Logano did go a full lap down when he had to come in for that black flag penalty. He is shown in 14th position, the first car a lap down. All right, we've got 25 laps to go. Does anyone come?
Can I look at the radar first?
Can you look at the radar first? Well, there are some guys that are set up.
Okay. I think if you're back in 6th or something, you can take a chance. We've only got 12 guys on the lead lap here.
Yeah.
Double file restarts, you're not far back.
But notice how it's breaking up?
It's holding off.
If I might jump into this, I think I'd stay out. Unless maybe you're right. Maybe if you're 10th, 9th,
you got guys back there.
And if you got
Kane and Vickers and even though Edwards is racing, I think some of those guys got to take a chance here.
Well, we do have a few takers. There comes Vickers, Allgaier, and also Keselowski and Raines and Annette. Jamie.
And Brian Vickers came in 6th, right sides. They took a tear off the windshield. Like you guys said, why not? Let's roll the dice and see what happens. Vince?
The 88 of Brad Keselowski. Keselowski said the last stint, the car's balance was perfect. Then all of a sudden it started plowing. He said, I think for sure we've got a left side tire down, so they had to come. Dave?
Vince Allgaier pits from 8th. Fresh rubber for him. All 4 corners. That should give him a chance to roll back through the top 10. And that is their goal. They wanted that fresh rubber.
Well, look at it this way. The worst you can do is come out in 12th position because there's only the 12 cars on the lead lap. 13 when Tony Stewart gets the wave around. Stay with us. This is going to get interesting. Oh, as boy, John Reese was really giving us a good call.
Woo! NASCAR, baby. ESPN. Live action. Coming at you. Woo, a little close on my jack post. Go, baby, go, 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 go.
And it does not end there. Look at this. Is it Will Farrell? No, it's the NASCAR safety crew. But, boy, he was hustling out there. And look at this. It's like, here, come on, follow me. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise.
He is hustling now.
Oh, golly.
He'll need a break after
And
this.
he was out of breath. Trust us. We saw him climb into that truck fight. Look at it. He's still going.
Not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
There he is. There he is. Yeah. Woo! Okay. 21 laps to go. This time by. Lights are out on the pace car. It is Kyle Busch, Dave Blaney, Mike Bliss, Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Carl Edwards. That is your top 6. As we said, there are 13 cars on the lead lap, and a bunch of them at the back have some fresh tires. What's going to happen? Let's find out. Whoa, look at Burton looking down low, trying to make it 3 wide underneath Casey Kane. Hang on, boys. That's Carl on the high side in the 60.
It's not the first time these three have been 3 wide. They've been racing hard all night.
Down the backstretch, they survived turn 2. They look like they may want to try it again. Better minds prevail. We're only down to 2 wide.
Yeah, Vick is in that 32. He got 2 fresh tires there on that pit stop.
There's second place. Look at Ryan Newman. High side on Blaney. Here comes Bliss as well, the guy who won this race back in May. Kyle Busch has opened up a half a second lead. Are you surprised? On board with Carl Edwards.
And Blaney back on the high side, though. Got a nice run off of turn 2.
Bliss says, no, I'm going to shoot right back.
Man. Yeah, but I don't think he's going to clear him.
Oh, going to get squeezed.
Ooh, that was tight.
That was. All right, we're down to 19 laps to go. Blaney still trying to take the position back on the high side. What it's doing is allowing the 2 cars in front of him to run away and hide. So Kyle Busch, and remember, Ryan Newman had a car that during practice and qualifying was not very good. Further back, that's Michael Annett in the 15. Here comes Logano on the high side of the 29. There's Justin Allgaier just a little further back with Tony Raines. That all for position.
Well, Logano is still a lap down. That's the only one in this group that is not in position.
Joey is the first car 1 lap down. If we would get 1 more caution, he'd be back on the lead lap. There's your gap between first and second. Then the freight train all the way back to Michael Annett. Annett, another great run as he is shown in 9th position. Logano, as we said, 1 lap down, and then the 2 of them behind him there, Justin Allgaier and the 29 fighting out for position, and that is for 10th.
Second place is heating up too. Mike Bliss has now caught Ryan Newman.
So Bliss given another great ride. We still keep trying to figure out why he got booted from the 1 car earlier this year, as he is looking to take over the position from Ryan Newman. This time by, there will be 16 laps to go.
Yeah, Dave Blaney's coming back on these guys, too, in that 87. He's liking that high line. That's where he's been making his time.
Took him a few laps to get wound up. He lost quite a few spots on that restart.
The problem is Kyle Busch is running 0.4 of a second quicker every lap than the next 3 cars, even when they're in line.
I think they conceded that. This is a battle for second for tonight.
Blaney looking for the high line, see if that'll give him any boost. Doesn't seem to work on that corner.
Right here is where that works. You get that big run down the straightaway. Now he's getting up on the outside of Bliss.
Going down into 1. You see the sparking still from Ryan's 33.
You can see the run that Dave Blaney can get on that high side. He just needs a little bit of room to get to that right rear quarter. Then he can slow the guy down in front of him.
Now Bliss is going to try that. Yeah, he had the big run. Blaney did, and he didn't want to go to the inside. He knows he wants that outside. Looks like Bliss is giving it all it's got right here.
This is the best action we have on the racetrack because Kyle has opened up a 2.5-second lead just that quickly. There'll be 13 laps to go next time by the stripe. Newman, who has won here before in the Nationwide Series in 2 starts with another top 5 finish. Looks like he's on to another one here. Right side is the battle for second. Left side is the battle for 9th. Boy, Michael and Ned doing a great job here. The 2 rookies going after each other. Here comes Burton on the high side of the 12, and he takes the position away.
You can remember Allgaier got 4 tires on that last pit stop. Tony Raines there. Great run for Tony Raines tonight, sitting there in the 12th spot.
There are 13 cars on the lead lap. Tony Stewart behind these guys in 13th. On the right side, Newman's under attack again.
Yeah, Bliss has got him this time.
Bliss has got the momentum. Down into 1 they go, and yes, move Mike Bliss into 2nd place. Look at Allgaier side by side with Burton on the left side. And all of a sudden, Newman's in trouble from the 87 on the right side of the screen. Blaney's underneath him.
Yeah, this will be a little tougher pass than what Mike Bliss made on that high side. Blaney's able to get back to the throttle and is going to clear him.
Allgaier finally clears the 29, so all of a sudden Newman has dropped back 2 positions to 4th. And look at Bliss, he has pulled out a nice margin of about 0.8 of a second now. But there is your race leader, Kyle Busch. He's wrapped up the 5 bonus points. And we were worried that maybe he might have another bad race. Right now, he's looking for race win number 7 this year. Carl Edwards, he's shown in 6th spot right now as Vickers gets around him, and they swap that spot to move Vickers into 5th. Laps to go here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Right now, everything's sort of all of a sudden settled down into single file.
See Kyle Busch there. Here comes Mike Bliss, Dave Blaney, Ryan Newman.
That is lap traffic in front of Kyle. The 42 of Eric Almirola. Looking to see if anybody is closing. Almirola does the smart thing, gets out of the way. And you can see that right now, not a lot of great side-by-side going on. A little deeper back in the field. But those guys are a lap down or more. The gap up front right now at 2.4 seconds. The last lap, Mike Bliss is running exactly the same lap time, 30.5.
You see how hard this weather is to predict. We thought it would be raining before the end of the race. It's 8 laps to go, and the rain is holding off.
The 2 rookies side by side, Justin Allgaier and Michael Annett. That's for 9th. Move Allgaier into 9th, bump Annett back to 10th. Here comes Jeff Burton to take a look at Michael. Annett on the low side. Burton wants that low line too. They'll go nose to tail down in towards turn 1.
See Michael Annett driving really hard right now. He knows that another top 10 would be a huge boost for this race team, but slides up a little bit and Jeff Burton gets underneath.
Burton side by side with him. Can he make the pass stick this time? And it looks like he's cleared him. Yes. Oh, and Annett's into the wall.
Get it going. You're fine. You're fine.
Hey, you're fine. Always easy for the spotter to say.
Yeah, you're fine, except for those right side tires that have been smacked in the wall and the sheet metal rubbing the tires.
And we'll keep our eye on Michael. So here comes Vickers now as he's making a run on Newman for 4th. So all of a sudden, Newman's car's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he's going the wrong direction. It took those 2 tires of Brian Vickers to wait a little while before they came in, but he's really on the move now. Back behind him, Michael Annette almost in the wall again off of turn 4.
Annette needs to be careful. He's got a nice run in jeopardy here if he puts it into the wall one more time.
Yeah, he lost that 11th spot to Tony Raines.
We've only got 13 cars on the lead lap. Here is the battle with Vickers again trying to go underneath the 33 of Newman. This is for 4th. They're side by side with only 4 laps to go. Vickers looks like, can he make it stick? That's lap traffic on the high side. That's Chase Miller. Look out. And it allows Vickers to get on through and take over the position. Can he hold on to it, though?
Yeah, Carl Edwards hoping they might race side by side for a couple more laps. Let him get there and see if he can make up a couple of spots.
Here comes Ryan back on the high side. Can't carry the momentum.
3 laps to go.
Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski. All of a sudden, Brad's saying, hey, I got to exert my muscle here. Remember, he has a string of 8 top 5s in jeopardy. He's done it 8 times in a row, and right now he's running 7.
I know we're watching these guys. How about Mike Bliss in this 11 car? Been in a couple times, finished second at Dover. Just a great run. Really showcasing his talents, isn't he?
He is 2.6 seconds behind Kyle Busch. There is Kyle.
But once he got the second spot, though, he was just as fast as Kyle Busch. It's a little too late.
Again, a 30.7 for each of the front 2 cars. So he has matched Kyle. The problem is he can't cut into it. And the laps are winding down. And here goes Carl Edwards around Ryan Newman. So move Edwards into 5th, Newman back to 6th. And there is Justin Allgaier as he's got his hands full with some vehicles that are a lap down. And all of a sudden, here comes Brad Keselowski running on the 33 as we are down to the final lap. And Keselowski's string a top 5s run in serious jeopardy. But no jeopardy right now for the 18 of Kyle Busch. He is going to end an 11-race streak where he has not won by taking the checkered flag here at Lowe's Motor Speedway and winning. Here comes Bliss. He's across the line. Here comes the battle with Blaney 3rd, Vickers 4th, Edwards. And there you see it's Keselowski.
Yeah.
He gets 6th, but it does break his string of top 5 finishes at 8 in a row.
Guys, awesome job. Thank you. This car was on rails, man. You guys are great.
7th win of the year for Kyle Busch.
Sounded like everything was working perfect tonight except the radio.
Let's go to
a little bit of static.
Well, it's been a while since you guys have won one. It's been a dominating season, but I know some ups and downs last week. How good does it feel to be back in victory lane today, Jason?
Boy, it feels awesome. We got to praise the Lord for perseverance. You know, it seems like it's been a long time. It really hadn't. You know, we're just
11 races in a row. It's a long time for you guys.
Yeah, we're just spoiled rotten because of our this driver we got. So we got to thank Kyle. Man, it's good to have him back and healthy this week. A great job by this whole team. I mean, just an awesome group of gentlemen. It's an honor for me to work with them. Our Z-Line Designs Camry was great all weekend, and I was a little nervous there at the end. I was like, man, we just can't give up our track position here, and it paid off for us.
Strong finish and a strong showing for the 18 tonight, Marty.
Well, and even more importantly, he adds 40 points onto his lead. It's back up to 195. It was 155 when the evening started. So he did the one thing that he didn't need at all, which was another DNF with now 4 races left.
Well, he did what we've seen all year. Just dominate races, and other times he might not have been quite as fortunate as we see him get out and stand up, take his bow, I'm sure.
We had 8 different leaders, 12 lead changes, but Kyle led 137 of those laps as he gets the checkered flag, salutes the crowd, and we'll get a chance to talk to him in victory lane when we come back to Lowe's Motor Speedway. Back back here as we have finished the 31st of 35 races. Kyle Busch, as we mentioned, added more to the lead, a total of 40 over Carl Edwards, now up to 195. 272 back to Brad Keselowski. And notice it is Justin Allgaier in 5th with a lot of breathing room over Stephen Wallace. Mike Bliss moved up to 7th in that championship chase. For Kyle, who's climbing out, it's his 28th career win in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Jamie, let's talk to the winner.
And Kyle Busch there getting a little off balance, and the smoke is still pouring after that burnout. Kyle, for a guy who's used to going to victory lane in this series often, it's been 11 races. What has it been like for you?
It's been a holding pattern, but great job by this whole NOS Energy Drink Z-Line Designs team. They did a phenomenal. I mean, this thing was on a rail tonight. It was such a great race car. So thank Toyota, Marquis Jets, Gillette, DirecTV, the fans. It's awesome to come out here and on such a cold night have this many people in the stands. So we appreciate their support. And I'm sorry to my guys about last week, having to get out there. And Danny was doing an awesome job. Unfortunately, he got caught up in a mess that I don't think anybody could have gotten out of. And so he did a whale of a job driving for us, but we had some points to make up, and we made up some tonight, hopefully.
How difficult was it for you as a driver to get out of the car during the race?
I've never done it before. It was the worst thing ever, and Jim and Monica, they were there last week from Z-Line, and, I apologize to those guys as well, too. I wish we could have brought them to victory lane there in California. We were going for 3 in a row. This could have been 5 in a row here, but, I love this place. This is my house on the Nationwide side. Jimmy can call it his on the Cup side. I got some work to do on there.
Yes, your 5th win. What makes it your house, Kyle? What is it about this place that you're so good?
I don't know. Working with Jimmy, when I worked with him a few years ago, we talked a lot about how to get around here. This is one of my favorite racetracks. Always was, just growing up, watching the Winston and watching the All-Star race on TV, the sparks flying, the wrecks happening and all that. But, when I came here and raced here my first time in an ARCA car, I just took to the track and had a lot of great advice from Jimmy Johnson, who was my teammate then, my brother, and really helped me get around here. And for some reason, I just I gel with it. I really like this place.
Well, he's been great here. He's won with 3 different teams here. Kyle Busch back in victory lane. Shannon?
Jamie, a great run today for Mike Bliss. It's been such a whirlwind season for you, jumping from one car to the next. How much of a redemption is a second-place run here at Charlotte for what you've been through this season?
I think it means a lot to me. I mean, like you said, I've been kicked pretty hard this year around. To come back and run second again in this number 11 Ridemakers Toyota feels really good. I love Charlotte. I don't know why. I just love this racetrack. So it was good. That car was really good. So off the trailer to when we just parked it right here, I was just really excited to be able to drive that car.
Now, your crew chief said he felt like the next couple races with you is his best chance to get a victory. We head to Memphis next weekend, a track where you have 2 top 5s. What can we expect out of you, Mike?
We ran real good together there, and Armando Fitz's car ran second. Paul and I work good together. It's kind of strange how you find this combination and it just works. I believe in him. He believes in me. I think we got a good shot at going to win the race. We can all say that, but I think what him and I have together right now is working.
And Mike Bliss currently 7th in the points. Dave?
I'll tell you something else that was working tonight. It was that, I think, 20th Braun car that was in the field tonight. Dave Blaney came home 3rd, barely. Where'd you run out of fuel?
Yeah, right. Coming out of 3 or coming out of 4 in the last lap, it quit. So it worked out great. Everything was going good tonight. Great car. I can't thank Todd Braun and his group enough for bringing it, and Joe Nemechek's guys and Billy Wilburn for being crew chief in it tonight. And man, I haven't been able to do much racing this year, and that was fun.
I mean, you've been doing a little nationwide, but it wasn't full-on racing and not with such a great car. How difficult was it to get the information translated to crew chief Wilburn and get this car good during practice?
Well, I thought it was real good during practice, but I told him I just don't have a feel for how it should be early in the run, how it should be late in the run. So we kind of basing it off lap times a little bit, but it took right off early and went all night. Just almost good enough.
And he said to the team coming in, that was fun. Good job for Dave Blaney.
It certainly was. A lot of guys had some very good runs tonight, and Blaney among them. Tomorrow night, it's race number 5, the halfway mark in the 10-race series that'll decide the Sprint Cup Championship. Second in the chase, Mark Martin's tied with Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough for the most 500-mile wins with 3. Who wins it? Well, you can tune in at 7 Eastern tomorrow on ABC for the NASCAR Banking 500, only from Bank of America. So as we head to a break, there is Kyle Busch. He has more wins here at this track than any other. As we mentioned, he collected number 28 in his career. Stay with us.
Are those raindrops starting to fall in those racetrack lights just as this thing ends? That could also just be some bugs up top. We'll get confirmation on that. Ticket to the race. Upcoming events, the final 4 of this season for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Final short track race next Saturday, Memphis, Tennessee. Then it's on to Texas, Phoenix, and the finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. NASCAR.com/tickets if you would like to join us for some of those upcoming races. Yeah, those look like raindrops starting to fall. Vince?
That's right, indeed, and happy to be standing here next to Tony Raines, who had an outstanding run tonight, finished 10th, his 50th top 10 finish in the Nationwide Series through the years, and we were talking about kind of deciding whether or not to pit on that last stop because of the rain looming. How'd you guys finally decide to make that call to come in and get 4?
Well, Scott said, the weather's coming, let's stay out. And I said, if it doesn't rain and we stay out, we'll get run over. I said, let's pit. You know, my luck, it always goes green, and it did. So I kind of looked smart that time. But, you know, I just want to thank, you know, all the guys at the shop. You know, front row, we're definitely an independent team, and we changed our package around a little bit last week in California. We had a really good car, and we didn't get to finish the show for it. Tonight we had a great car again, and got a little tight at the end, but come home in the top 10. And when you get a good run at Charlotte, which is around, you know, obviously around our home here and all the peers and all the friends and workers, it's extra special. But just to run good, you know, we struggled a little bit early this year, but we had the new fish logo on the hood, the Long John Silver, so that was maybe our lucky charm. But all in all, a good night, and look forward to finishing off the season strong.
Yeah, this guy can really get up on the wheel. Good to see that he got the finish he deserved tonight. Tony Raines, 10th place.
Nice result for Tony, and while Kyle Busch celebrates in victory lane, he has gained ground on Carl Edwards in the championship.
Yeah, Carl had a good run, though. He finished 5th, but he fell 195 points behind. Kyle did what he had to do, just get out there and whipped him, led most of the laps, and just really got it on. But Carl, they can't shake him. He's there, but he's not gaining anything.
Let's hear from Carl with Dave.
Carl Edwards bringing home a top 5 finish for the 60 car. Picked up a few spots there at the end, Carl. Give us a look at the whole race, though.
Well, it started out obviously really well. We had a great race car. Matt had a really good Ford Fusion, but I guess we need a gremlin trap. You know, we got the mouse trap, the rat trap. We need to figure out what the gremlins are in our race cars that we can work out so we can be faster and keep up with these guys. But when Kyle and that 18 team, when they've got their stuff together, they're just screaming fast. So we lost some points to them, but at the end we did make up some points. We had a great strategy. We just got to keep digging, keep making these cars faster. You know, qualifying showed us we could do it. We just got to be able to do it for 300 miles.
The double file restarts were exciting. There were times, though, when you were 3 wide. How tough was that on this narrow track?
Yeah, I don't know if you have an in-car view of at one point I went into turn 3. I was 3 wide, and I let the 2 guys go, and my spotter, Jason Hedleski, said, 3 wide. And I thought, he just didn't see that they were. And then 2 more guys went around me, and I thought, man, these guys are racing hard. So pretty exciting racing out there. I mean, that's really pretty fun. I mean, with the restrictor plates, you can't get away from people, but it leads to that kind of racing. So just wish we could have been a little faster with it. That makes it more fun.
But you did bring the car home in one piece, a top 5 for Carl.
And we did see that live on the air as Carl went 3 wide twice in a row, not necessarily by choice. And again, a 5th place run, and he trails by 195 points as the Nationwide Series heads on to Memphis. Reminder that tomorrow night, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in race 5 in the chase for the Sprint Cup. The Banking 500, 7 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. NASCAR Now, pre-race and post-race from here in Charlotte. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, ESPN2. Then late Saturday night at 12:45 to wrap up the race. And as mentioned, this Nationwide Series on to Tennessee and Memphis. Next Saturday, coverage at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. So the rain held off. Kyle Busch dominated tonight. He's in victory lane holding the trophy, his 5th victory at this particular track. 7 Eastern ABC tomorrow night. So Brian Vickers finished 4th tonight. We've heard from the other top 5 finishers. Let's hear from him.
Well, Brian Vickers' car did not look pretty pulling onto pit lane, but it got a top 5 finish. Can you describe what this night was like for you guys?
It was a long night. We had a really good car. The Dollar General Toyota started out good, and then we got in that crash. And I don't know what happened. I don't know who caused it. It happened so far ahead of us. Everybody jammed up there. We had a lot of damage. The DG crew did a great job making the most out of the race car. We were really fast there for a while, but we lost some speed through the corners. But in particular down the straightaway, we lost some cowl pressure and different things because of the hood damage. But we made the most of it. If anything, tonight at least we raised some awareness for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Society, and that's good.
It seems that this track, both in the Cup and the Nationwide Series this weekend, has been very different than what we've seen in the past. The high line really hasn't come in. How different has it been for you?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I think maybe the high line didn't come in as much in practice because it was, it's colder, later, and I think that plays a factor. I still believe it will tomorrow. For the Nationwide cars to be running up top, usually the Cup cars are guaranteed to go there. These cars, you're practically running wide open around the bottom, so it's very challenging to get these cars fast up top. There was several runs there towards the end where I was really quick up top, so I think it'll be a good race tomorrow night.
Brian Vickers' top 5 finish. Next time we'll see him in this car is in Texas.
All right, Shannon, thank you. So as Kyle Busch continues to have the photos taken in Victory Lane, when we came on with NASCAR Countdown, we talked about a few things we said might happen. They did.
They did. I saw some folks bust their rear ends like I predicted.
Guys racing for their jobs?
We talk about driving for a job, and Mike Bliss, he's the guy that did the best job that night. Man, he just didn't do a little bit of it. A second-place finish, a great job out of Bliss. Somebody's going to hire that guy.
And Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch brought a baseball bat to a pillow fight, baby. When he loads up that Nationwide car, it's on.
Kyle Busch has now led 41% of the Nationwide Series laps this season. He is in Victory Lane again. Coming up next, 2009 ESPNU Midnight Madness. It's hoops time again.
Yes, it is, baby.
So, Kyle Busch has scored now his 5th victory at this racetrack. Started back in 2004, winning for Hendrick Motorsports. 12 months later, he did it again. Same race, same team. Then Kyle Busch ripped off a string of 3 in a row here at this racetrack, taking both of them in 2008. The first one for Braun Racing, the second one for Joe Gibbs Racing. That one last October, and then tonight, Kyle Busch went on to Victory Lane again, his 5th victory here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Chase race number 5 from here tomorrow night on ABC.